right. We are live. We are doing it
it's a dog
totally different.
I mean, which one are we going with?
We're doing it totally different tonight, guys. We are actually streaming to two separate areas. We're in our Discord server, which we love when everybody stops by in the Discord. We got some people in the Discord in the audience now. And we have, thanks to you out there in the YouTube land, you guys hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Let me make sure everyone can hear me okay. We are actually streaming to... Good. I like it. I'm hearing good sounds. That means good. That's a good thing. Yeah, for those of you who are used to having all the fancy layouts and stuff, it is, we're doing a little different tonight because sometimes someone like RNG Gator wants to turn his camera off. I don't have to rearrange windows and all that. Not to get down into the...
not off.
Oh, okay. You fell into the background.
Or me, maybe.
You fell into the background. He fell into the city. Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, anyway, what happens is nobody disappears. I don't have to scramble to put everybody back in the little window. So this is so much easier the way we're doing it now. So welcome everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. And I'm gonna admit, I'm a little pissed at this TWAB, which I'm going to hand it off to Kingsley tonight, by the way. He's going to go over the TWAB. And yeah, I'm curious to see.
I can't even imagine what you're pissed about.
Several things. No,
we'll get there.
Just a few. We'll get there. We'll get there. So what do you guys think? Ready to do a podcast?
Yep.
Hell
All
yeah.
right, let's do it. And why isn't it recording? There we go. What's up, Guardian? Welcome to episode 287 of Guardian Downcast, a Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Todd the Gator, and I'm a day one Guardian who loves gaming and especially the Destiny franchise. We're the podcast that's all about your stories, your community, and your destiny. This week we have the whole gang together with my co-host Kingsley Mac and RNG Gator. How's it going, guys?
Hey, glad to be here once again.
Excellent. RNG's just not wanting to be fined, so thanks for hanging out with us tonight, RNG. Tonight
I can leave as quickly as I join.
No, we're fine. Tonight we have another brand new guest on the show. He's been in our Discord for over a year now, and he jumps into games every so often with the community. And Worm, I think I gamed with you once in Crucible. Didn't we have a Crucible night where we gamed together?
Yes, a few times.
That's what I thought, man. That's what I thought. He sometimes he's kind of quiet in the fire team, and I don't hear everybody talking, and that's the problem when you're playing in the Discord. You can't see who's talking. I know there's an overlay you can put in there, but that's way too hard for me to figure out. But so we have tonight Wormwood, or he just wants to be called Worm. So how's it going tonight, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Excellent, man. Well, I've been trying to get people in our community that we haven't heard from before. And Worm is someone who's never been on our show. He's brand new tonight. And he's actually going to be our guinea pig tonight for a way we do our speed run from here on out. So we'll see how that goes as well. But for those of you who may have just discovered our podcast, we're a weekly gaming show with an emphasis on the Destiny franchise. And we've been actually producing audio episodes for over 5 years now. And, you know, things evolve, people come and go. We've kind of adapted things in our show as well. We have decided to produce a live vodcast of our show on YouTube where you can interact with us live in the chat on Friday nights at 10 p.m. We also are in our Discord community tonight where our Discord community can chime in and talk with us as well. Kind of fun tonight. We also have the replay, by the way, on my YouTube channel. If you want to catch an episode, maybe you're in the UK and you're not going to stay up till 5 a.m. to watch us, I totally understand. So that'll always be there. And our audio version is always available in our podcast apps for all of you out there who listen to our show. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for your time and your ears. And you can go to our website, guardiandowncast.com, to listen to any individual past episodes as well on demand. In this episode, we're going to get started by getting to know our new guest, Wormwood, or Worm, and how he found this game, Destiny, and his life in gaming. Before we conclude the interview, we will present a revised version of our fast fire question and answer segment we call, the speed run. Next, we'll catch up with everyone here and see what we've been doing in gaming and life this week. I have not one, but 3 movie reviews of brand new movies that were just out. 2 I saw in the theater using my AMC Stubbs A-List membership, and another I saw on Netflix. I'll give a quick rundown of the Bungie's blog this week in Destiny, the TWAB. Actually, Kingsley's going to do that tonight. And if time allows, we're going to revisit a topic of the week. And I'm curious what all of us in here think, as this was a very hot topic this week in our Discord community. Finally, we're going to add some music to our Guarding Down Cast show playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. The links are down there in our show notes down below if you want to follow along. I just want to remind you that if we have any feedback for us or anything we talk about tonight, let's hear it. It's discord.gg/Guarding Down Cast if you'd like an invite to our community, and you can post that feedback in our GDC feedback channel. Well, if you guys are ready, let's roll. And my shortcut is not working on OBS. Wonderful. This is what happens, guys, when you update OBS. It resets everything. It's awesome. That's why we were a little late tonight, because I had to everything. It's just crazy. But anyway, let's get on to our interview here. You ready, Worm?
Yep.
All right. Let us do it. Here we go. I'm out of breath for some reason. Jeez. Okay. Well, again, welcome, Worm, to the show tonight. Good to finally meet you face to face here. Well, kind of. And I think we've been talking for several months now about being on the show, and we finally were able to get it scheduled tonight. So again, welcome. And let me start by this. Where are you from, and what do you do, sir?
I live in Cali, and I work in a warehouse for Fashion Nova.
Now, are you in Southern Cal?
No.
Okay, thank goodness. Are you far from what's going on down there right now?
I am 2 hours away.
See, here's the thing I thought about. You know, everyone sees all the fires and the hell on earth on the news, but I imagine the smoke and the air quality's just got to be terrible. Think of all the plastic car tires and stuff that have been burning, and the fact that everyone has to breathe all those poisonous chemicals in too. It's got to be more than just hell on earth down there right now. So we, of course, our thoughts go out to everybody in the Southern California area that's still dealing with the wildfires out there. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. So I'm glad you're not in it, Worm. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I bet. Well, let me start with this. What was your earliest game in this hobby video games that we like to do? What was your first game you started playing, man?
I think it was on the PS3.
Okay.
I think like Spider-Man. I forgot what Spider-Man was it?
Spider-Man, huh?
Yeah, I don't ask me. I didn't play a lot of the superhero games. I played other things. But
I'm pretty sure it was also World War. One of the Call of Duty's World War.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely know what you're talking about there, man. The World War II one. Yeah, that was a great game. That's where zombies was introduced originally. Do you play a lot of zombies back then?
Yes, I did. I still do now.
I love zombies. It's so much fun. Now, so are you a PlayStation guy?
No, I was.
Uh-huh.
I was. I switched to Xbox, and I got myself a Xbox 360.
Wow. Not a PlayStation guy, huh?
No.
Well, hey, thanks for coming on the show tonight, man. Appreciate you. And Sen, no, sorry. No, that's fine, man. I actually was on all three consoles at one point, and yeah, I can't split my time. It's impossible to split your time between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So it's just two for me now. But let me ask you this: how did you find Destiny, man?
I was trying to sell a game to GameStop. They gave me $5 for that, and then I found Destiny just randomly. I picked it up.
So you picked it out of the bargain bin?
Yeah.
A used copy.
Yeah, a used copy of Destiny.
No, that's smart. That's smart. I mean, I waited at midnight to get it. That's okay. No worries. Waited with my son in line for 3 hours, I think it was. But yeah, you just picked it up out of the bin. Nice. That's nice. I'm just kidding with you, man. Now, when did you actually begin to play Destiny? What are you, a Taken Tot? What exactly did you start playing?
I think when the light level was defense, I was playing Destiny. Which is, yeah.
That was before Taken King, I think, when they
Yes,
remember when they revamped the
was.
light system and everything in Taken King.
Yes.
So
I
right,
remember, and it wasn't actually in Taken King. It was the April update after Taken King,
right.
because I started in January after Taken King, and I was learning about powering up, and then all of a sudden this April update came out. It was my first update, and then the whole light level thing totally changed, and so I remember that very specifically.
Wow, God, that brings back memories, man. I was on that Dreadnought for so long. I played so many hours on that Dreadnought. We're going back now. It's gonna be great. Well, eventually. Let me ask you this: do you have a favorite moment or favorite memory from your early days of Destiny? Did you now? Let me ask you this: do you play solo or do you play with fire teams or do you both?
Okay, in the beginning, I was solo. Then I found like a group of people that I'm still friends to this day. That I still play with, and yeah, pretty sure a group. Yeah, it was like 12 of us in one group.
Well, I have to ask everyone who's played Destiny in the past: do you have a favorite memory, favorite moment that you? I mean, for me, it was when I was running out on the Cosmodrome. Remember that very first time when you see the towers falling and the big catch running across the sky? I literally was running. I thought we were going to be in trouble, and it turns out that's what happens to everybody. But
I think one of my favorite ones is getting Stormcaller for my Warlock.
oh, nice.
That animation was.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. Stormcaller. It's funny how we're going to come back around to that part. Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, why game, man? What is it about gaming that you love to, why is this such a big hobby for you?
Just to escape.
Yeah. A lot of people say that,
Yeah.
but I still like to ask it every now and then. What kind of, are you a Warlock, Titan, or Hunter main?
In D1, I was a Warlock. Then I switched to D2. I was a Hunter.
Okay. Okay. What is it you like the best about Hunter? Do you play a lot of Crucible with it, or?
Yes. Just some invisibility and crouching a lot.
Yeah, it is a smaller frame. I think it is a smaller frame. I think
Yes.
people who use Hunters and Crucible, I think, have a slight advantage. And if the damn slide shotgunners got an Iron Banner this week, just freaking drove me nuts. Well, let me ask you this: what's your favorite NPC in the tower or any of the worlds?
I think Shax.
Okay.
One way. Yeah.
That's okay. All right. A hunter that likes shacks. Okay. I like that. All right. Well, I mean, come on. He's in the story quite a bit. And you said you play a little bit of both solo and fire team, but do you play mainly fire team now, or are you going back to playing solo a lot, or?
I play both.
Okay.
A lot solo now.
Well, let me ask you, how did you find our community, man?
Through YouTube shorts randomly. Just scrolling through YouTube shorts.
My
That's it.
YouTube shorts that were driving everybody in the Discord crazy because they were getting daily announcements about my YouTube shorts that I put out, which were little clips of our podcast. Now you can do 3-minute shorts, by the way. I don't know if I can, I don't know. We'll have to see if I can mess with that or not. But, real important question here. Do you do bounties?
No, I don't.
Man.
Unless
Do you raid?
yes, I do.
Somebody,
Nice.
you don't have to be pressured into, answering.
And
what
sorry
you
if I've
want to
raided with
understand.
you before, Worm. Sorry if I forgot. Your name definitely sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
Raiding.
We have raided.
Good.
Very
Thought
cool.
so.
Very cool. That's all right, man. I just like to get paid to play. That's all. What activities do you prefer to do in the game? I mean, what's your main activities that you like to do when you log in?
Dungeons, or if I have a team, then raids.
Do you like the solo dungeons? Do you try doing that, or?
I tried and I failed miserably.
I try to. I just don't have the patience. You just gotta. It's just repetition, right? You just got to keep doing it. So I'm just after I die the 5th time, I'm like, okay, I'd rather just go die in Crucible. Make more sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, dungeons are really meant for 3 players, anyways. Yeah, they have the single player triumph, but they're better with 3 people. I mean, it's part of the experience, and I think of exotic missions as more of a 1-player thing.
Yeah. Most of the exotic missions I did actually play solo at first, and then, like I said, you and I, Kingsley, finished those two or three more runs we had to do to get the story done for Act 3. Did you? By speaking of that, did you finish Act 3, Worm?
I'm on Act 3 right now.
You're doing it right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I won't spoil anything. It's okay. I'm not gonna shit on Destiny tonight. I'm not gonna do it, except when it comes to the TWAB. But
just do a little bit.
I'm just a little bit bitter. Just a little bit bitter. So, let me ask you this: what one weapon in your vault will you refuse to delete? You know, the blueberry guys always making you delete crap out of your vault. What's one weapon in your vault that you refuse to delete, and why?
I have to go check.
You know dim open? All right.
I have dim open right now.
Take your time. Take your time. Shout out to Zombie Pops, Allocate, and the Batman and the YouTube channel.
I think is Bastion.
The exotic Bastion? Okay.
Yeah.
It used to be so much fun using the Crucible. I know they've tweaked it a little bit where you can use it, but man, they used to be so fun. Sakuroji used to make fun of me because I would just get all Bastion kills through Crucible. But it's the only 3-shot fusion, right? Yeah.
Slug. Yeah, it's a slug 3-shot fusion.
Yeah. So can't beat that. I hope they bump it up a little bit more. It'd be really nice. Well, let me ask you this. If Bungie assigned you a small but versatile dev team, what would you work on for the future of Destiny 2?
More story. That's the story element. Because I know there's good lore. The story element they haven't put in the game. They should.
Yeah. Kingsley's shaking his head. He likes.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I mean, that's the first thing I do is play all the. First thing I did in Final Shape is play all of the campaign, and I played it all on Legend, and I wouldn't quit until it was done. It was really nice. Yeah, you finished Final Shape, right?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. Or let me do some signature questions here. What other hobbies do you have other than gaming? It sounds like you're pretty busy working, but do you have any other hobbies or things you do?
Not right now. I guess in high school,
Mm-hmm.
I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
I used to do track and cross country a lot, so that's the only thing
Nice.
I
What-
had.
What was your favorite events that you like to do in track?
I did the long jump
You did
and the
lo-
high jump.
Oh, okay. How tall are you?
I am 5'10", not that tall, but
Oh, that's really good. Awesome. Okay. I I have to ask, man, dude, what is up with that gamer tag? Flobberworm or Wormwood or just Worm?
It was okay. My Xbox gamer tag is xwormwood Inc.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this account from my cousin when I first got this Xbox. Like I was like 12 when I first played Destiny. So I was like, I never changed it, so I just kept it. So it was his account first, and he just gave me this account. So
It's
I
just
still use it.
it's just a hand-me-down name.
Wow.
I'm down name. That's it.
That's a first, man. I've never heard that
Yeah.
before. All right, impressive. All right, cool. What is one thing about you that our community may not know about you?
I'm pretty antisocial, I guess. Pretty antisocial.
Okay, you're an introvert, like probably all of us here. It's funny. A lot of gamers are introverts. It's just kind of the way it worked, I guess. Not everybody, but
it kind of makes sense in a way.
Yeah.
Introverts can do better online in gaming than in person, because also when you're doing a game, you have a common goal right away to do something. When you're in person, we hate the small talk, like, oh, how's the weather, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And that's why introverts actually can do pretty good online with gaming.
Oh yeah, by the way, Elmer Fudd Games weather report is 52 degrees, mostly clear in Florida right now. Speaking of small talk. All right, that's cool, man. You know what I found out too? People who podcast are mostly introverts as well. It's because they can, do what they do and then click off and regenerate their energy, afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Do you have a motto or mantra that you live by?
There's always a new day.
I like it. That's a good way to think. I like that. Awesome, man. Well, now what we're going to do here, usually I would segue into another segment called the speed run, but the way we're going to do it now is at the end of the interview, which we're at the end of now, I will have 25 questions still coming from that pool of 800 that have been submitted by our community. And we're soon going to be adding more, by the way, for our 2024 submissions, but they're quick, simple questions, yes or no, quick, short answers, just to get to know you a little bit deeper, go to that deeper level of understanding. There's no time limits. There's no contest, just quick questions and answers. So if you're ready, are you ready?
I have a couple things real quick, unless you're going to steal them into your questions.
No, go for it.
For your speed
Go
run.
for it, man.
I just need to know. It's just a weird thing for me, but what is a favorite drink and/or dessert of yours?
Favorite drink? I drink a lot of apple juice. And
Okay.
dessert, I'm not a big sweet guy. I never had sweets, so I don't really have. If so, then I would choose pumpkin pie.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Pumpkin pie. I thoroughly
Respectful.
apologize.
I love pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Thoroughly apologize, Kingsley. I forgot that's a
No,
staple
it's fine.
now.
I just
No.
being goofy.
No, I
need
like
to
that.
know.
I like that question. All right. Well, this is the speed run. Like I said, it's it's a handpicked 25 questions from a pool of 800 questions submitted by the community. And, like I said, no time limits, no contest, just quick answers, quick questions. So if you're ready, Wormwood, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. No timers, just answer whatever comes to mind. Number 1, favorite gaming console, old or new?
My PS2.
I love it. Great answer. King Tut's like, you got this, Worm. Number 2, Walmart, Target, or Amazon?
Target.
Okay. I'm already getting surprised. All right. What is your favorite Destiny exotic? You can go Destiny 1 or Destiny 2.
God damn. I forgot what's it called? Forerunner.
Oh, okay, good. Forerunner. Okay. All right. If you could choose, who would voice your ghost?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
I like it. All right. Void, Solar, Arc, Stasis, or Strand?
Avoid.
Pulse, Hand Cannon, Scout, or Auto Rifle? You can only choose one.
All rifle.
All right. Okay. I'm getting surprised here. Name your 2 top superpowers.
Top 2.
Yeah, you get 2. Yeah, you get 2.
Okay.
I can see everybody's faces. What is it? Go ahead.
Invisibility
Okay.
and going through walls.
All right. Kingsley, what would your 2 be?
Oh God.
Come on.
I mean, I would have invisibility. Invisibility.
Invisibility. Yeah.
And I would have teleportation.
RNG. What's your 2 favorite superpowers?
One of the ones I could be the biggest asshole with.
That tracks. Mine would.
Invincibility would be one, and
Invisibility.
then the other one would be invincibility.
Oh.
Invincible.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the other one, I guess, would be the ability to fuck with people's minds.
Nice. Yep, mind control.
See, this King's List definitely shows personalities, doesn't it? Mine would be not
Yeah.
invisibility. Mine would be to fly, because I love flying. I love seeing stuff, especially top-down views. And the other one would be to stop time and be able to do things in real time while the clock is stopped. That would be an awesome power.
Makes
Okay.
sense. Yep.
Going back to the speed run. Here we go. What is your favorite takeout?
It's this hole in the wall that's near my house. I
Mhm.
forgot it's a Mexican place.
Okay.
I forgot the name. It's
All right. I had a
If you
feeling it'd be
remember it, tell us.
tell
get
us
back to
later.
At some point.
That's
You'd
very
never go
important.
back to Kelly.
very important. Very important. Okay. What's the worst job you've ever had?
this
You-
job I have now.
I was gonna say you probably haven't had many jobs yet. I get it.
Yeah, this job I have now.
All right. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that when I was coming up with questions last night. Star Wars or Star Trek? This is number 10.
Star Wars.
Okay. Good man. Number 11. What armor slot do you use as an exotic?
Ants.
Okay. All right. Number 12. Describe yourself in 5 words or less. It can be less. Doesn't have to be 5 words.
God damn.
They're a little different.
Write us an essay.
Yeah.
I changed.
Yeah.
I changed it up a little bit. I changed it up a little bit this time.
Can't- God damn.
Likes to what? Likes to do
I-
something. It could be anything. I'm trying to help you a little.
Like fucking. I like cars.
Okay.
Automotive.
Likes cars. I like it. Okay. Number 13. What is the best Destiny subclass?
Hunter.
Subclass.
Oh, subclass. Void still.
Okay. Like Shadow Shot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like it being invisible. I get it. All right. Number 14. What is your favorite Destiny planet and why?
What's the Vex we first
Io?
met the Vex at?
Io?
No. On D1 is
The
The
Vex.
Vex.
Oh, yeah. Venus.
yeah. Venus, yeah, that's the planet. It's beautiful, the grass, I love how it
Mhm.
looks.
I love Venus. All the junk cars out there too. Yeah. Remember there was a dead ghost on one of them? Yeah, it's
Mhm.
cool. That's my favorite planet as well. I wish they'd bring it back. Come on, Bungie. Number 15. What is the most used app on your phone?
I think it's YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's YouTube.
Okay. That's smart. Okay. Number 16. What is the best movie candy? You might be judged.
Movie candy.
If you don't go to the movies a lot, you can just mention your favorite candy.
It's an Irish I guess it's an Irish candy. I forgot the name.
Irish candy?
It's like it's Mickey Wave. It's the Irish version of our Mickey Wave. It's way better.
Okay. All right. Number 17. Can you drive a stick shift?
I could go into 2 gears.
Okay, so maybe. Okay.
So maybe
You know how to use the
I could
clutch. All right.
I do not use the clutch. Yes.
Okay. You're not going to just jam it in first and second. Okay, got you.
No.
All right, number 18. Hardcover, paperback, or audiobook?
Paperback.
Okay. Cold or warm water when brushing your teeth? And do you put the water on the brush first or toothpaste first?
I put the brush on the water, then the toothpaste, then I use cold water.
Okay. All right. Number 20. Will Bungie ever unmask Shax?
Probably not.
Number 21. Game-winning score or game-saving stop?
Game winning score.
Okay. Number 22. It's a 2-parter again. Pineapple on pizza or thin crust or deep dish?
No pineapple on pizza. That's disgusting.
Good man.
And thin.
All right.
crust.
Man after my own heart. All right, good. Number 23. What is your favorite dungeon or raid?
favorite King's Fall.
That's a good one.
Has to be King's.
It's very good.
And
Oh, it could be or raid, dungeon or raid.
yeah, this is King's Fall then.
Yeah, that's a good raid.
Hold on. Before you ask the next one, I got a speedrun question to go with food.
Go ahead.
Do you like bagels? And if so, do you dip them in oatmeal? Or do you put oatmeal on them? Go ahead and answer it.
Don't knock it till
I
you try
never-
it. Don't knock it till you try it.
No,
I never tried that
I'm
before.
not going. Okay.
No.
Since you
No,
didn't
I
like
never tried
pineapple
it.
on pizza.
Anyone
you did
out
like
there?
that, I wanted to see.
Anyone out there, do not knock it until you try it. And you can use cream of wheat too if you
Actually,
want.
I'm a super taster, and I know what it tastes like, and I can knock it without trying it.
Whatever.
Yeah, same here.
Whatever.
I know what they taste like. I will not try it.
Okay.
And I'll even try it for you, Gator, and prove to you that I don't like
Okay.
it if you really want me to.
No, it's okay. I trust you. I trust you. All right, you're a taster. Okay, fine. No, it's a texture. I don't know what it is. Wheat bread and.
No, I'm good.
And now let me ask you this: are you one of those guys who kind of dips? If you have like, say, you got soup in a sandwich, do you dip your sandwich in your soup and then eat it?
Yes.
See, it's the same thing, Kingsley. It's the same thing. You're dipping
No,
your.
No, it's not. I don't think so.
No,
No.
it's not.
The flavor.
I don't think so.
No,
No.
it's not.
Wow. Wow.
I
It's-
think I'm good.
You were putting oatmeal, something just like a texture type.
Yeah, let's
You're
make
dipping
oatmeal
a
soup
grilled
and dip a
cheese
grilled cheese
into
sandwich
like
in it.
tomato
It's-
soup.
it's-
That is not the same thing.
Okay, whatever. And actually, it's I usually get a chicken panini and I'll actually put a spoon of broccoli cheddar on it and then eat it. Do you guys don't do that?
That sounds
Sounds pretty
That
good.
one, that I could go with. That
Okay.
makes sense.
All right.
To me, that
Just,
I don't have a problem
just
with.
not, just not
Oatmeal
the,
on a bagel. Mm-mm. Nope.
all right.
love you, Todd.
This is a very apropos question. Number 24. What thing annoys you most? And you could say RNG Gator if you like.
Yep.
He's talked to me one time.
I said people that I worked with.
Okay.
Yes, people. I said
Yeah.
people.
That makes
That's
sense.
fair.
That's definitely fair. It's definitely fair. All right. Last question. If you could take one person famous to dinner, who would it be?
Fuck, what's?
You're in California,
Where-
man.
Yeah, but some of them are weird. Some of those people are
He's
weird.
not wrong.
See, Corpse D agrees with me in chat. Broccoli cheddar and a cheese panini. Broccoli cheese and a panini sounds good. Yeah, exactly.
Ryan Reynolds, I guess.
All right, that's cool. We get that answer a lot. All right. Well, Wormwood, thank you. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your life with us. You have now completed this speed run. Thanks for playing along with us. I got a
Pat.
I got one more question.
yeah.
I got one more question when you get done.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I want to hear. I want to hear the question.
Mine is not one that's going to come after you or anything. Just go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, I was just closing out the
promise.
segment in the interview. Go ahead.
Okay, then I got a question. Since everybody has the same, if Destiny died tomorrow, what would you play?
That's a good question.
Probably. Where is it? I still love zombies, so Call of Duty zombies. That's the only thing.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Or Armor Reforger.
Corpse D, I'm so disappointed with you, man. Corpse D doesn't believe in the oatmeal bagel either. Okay, fine. All right, thanks, man.
Because he's got common sense, you know.
Thanks for playing along, Worm. Appreciate it, buddy. Well, I've got a question for everybody out there. If there's a speedrun question that you think you should ask, or you would want us to ask a future guest like RNG Gator did tonight, if so, let's hear it. Just go to our 2025 speedrun channel and submit your question. And at the beginning of 2026, we'll have 2 drawings, for a $25 Amazon gift card. What do you have to lose? Let's hear it. Now, the rules are a little different this year. You have 1 entry per member will go into the drawing, but you can submit as many as you like. So I'm just going to pick one of yours and put it into the drawing. So thank you. Hopefully you guys think of some good questions and good luck. By the way, I will have our 2 drawings for the 2024 submissions. I believe we're going to try to do that next week. So keep an eye on that. We'll do the wheel of names and we'll put everybody's name on there and we'll see who's going to win. We're going to have 2 drawings for a $25 Amazon gift card. Thank you to our patrons for that, by the way. That's how we can offer that. It doesn't come out of my pocket. It's part of our patron fund. So thank you, Worm. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit better tonight, man.
No problem.
Corpse, you drive me nuts, man. All right. All right, let's move on. We're going to catch up with our week in gaming and life, but we need to take a small break. So give us 1 sec. We'll be right back. All right. I really am hating that my shortcut key is not working tonight. I got to hopefully remember I record everything. All right, good deal. Just catching up with chat here.
Make sure, please, God, make sure.
Capping up with chat here. Dead game. You are no bounty hunter. Yeah, I know Zebrack. Okay. Thanks everybody for showing up tonight. This was fun.
No, you're good.
It's a lot of fun.
There was something in chat.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye. If there's anything important, we'll bring it up.
Yep, exactly. Good deal. Good deal. All right. And thanks to our chat and YouTube as well. I'm keeping an eye on YouTube chat tonight, and these guys are keeping an eye on the Discord chat tonight. I'm kind of keeping an eye on it too. So if there's something you guys want to, chime in about, let us know. Okay.
You want to tell them how wrong he is about oatmeal on a bagel? Please chime in.
Please do that. Please.
Corpse D's already done it. Yeah, Corpse D's already done it. So that was Kingsley. Okay. What? It's the driest wet thing there. No, not if you make it right. If you're using enough water, it's not dry. It's very creamy.
It's not creamy like cream of wheat.
My oatmeal is pretty creamy because I use a lot of water, and I don't boil it till it's like
first?
No, I just don't boil it. I just don't boil it until it's like dry, burnt in the pan.
No, I know.
Right.
I'm not saying people eating oatmeal, it's like bone dry, but it's kind of like this dry, wet thing. Does anyone else understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
You know what?
Yeah,
you know what? I actually made a video sharing how to eat and how to eat it correctly, and I'm gonna post it now. I actually hid it away in the archives.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, Kingsley.
I actually made a video showing everyone how to do it properly. So I'm gonna post it now.
What oatmeal looks like and putting that on a bagel. No.
Okay.
What it looks like. Yeah, I get that too.
All right. You guys ready to talk about our week? We'll start with you. We'll start with you first, Worm. Okay. All right. Here we go. I have to do this all manually now. So no, I haven't started yet. All right. Now that we have gotten to know Worm a little bit better here now, let's go around the horn here and catch up with everybody and see what they've been doing in gaming and entertainment, just in life in general. We'll just catch up on what everybody's doing this week. So Worm, I'll start with you, man. What has been going on in your week?
Hectic. My power turned off because of the fires.
Oh, that's right. Told me that.
And work and packing my stuff up to move to Texas.
A lot of people are moving to Arizona and Texas from California. It seems to be the trend now. Any reason? Oh, no, I don't need to ask you why. I think we all know why.
You know, you don't have. Actually, there's a different reason. I was gonna move to Texas either way before their fires and stuff. Yeah.
Is it because of the taxes and stuff? Because I know California has an state tax, right? State income tax.
I have a job and out there. I already have that already for me, and I'm also moving in with a friend that I met on Destiny. So we're been friends since so we're moving in together.
Good deal. Can you mention the job, or is that under wraps still?
Still a warehouse job, but I'm gonna get paid a lot more than I get paid here.
Nice, man. I like it. Anything else you've been doing? Gaming or TV shows or anything like that? The floor is yours, man.
Playing some Marvel Rivals a lot, and a little bit of Destiny.
To the club.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Fluffy Fingers Empty's been asking me if I want to play. He says, you want to get your Crucible fix, man? Marvel Rivals. I'm like,
oh yeah.
I don't know.
There he is. He is.
I don't know. I'm just gonna play Crucible. Yeah. Anyway. Well, okay, Kingsley, what have you been up to, man? What have you been up to this week, man?
Oh, let's see. I feel like not much. Still no real movies that I've been watching. TV shows and nothing too interesting. I've already mentioned Dexter a million times. Wife and I are now in New Blood. That's the after season.
Mention it. Yeah.
They're actually making yet another one, Dexter Resurrections, coming out this June. So that's going to be cool.
Very cool.
And then gaming, a little bit less this week also. I did hop in Destiny a little bit and I did the exotic mission with Sin, and then I did it with Batman and Muffin, and kind of the storyline. And there's a few things I want to still loop back to. I may or may not. I care a little bit less about this, but I know some people want to do the catalysts on expert, so I'll probably do that. But I am interested in hopping in the what a lot of people missed, by the way. They brought Skolas back actually, and after you do the seasonal story, you can do the extra credit version of Skolas jumping in. It's a different instance of the Prison of Elders. It's called something's Vengeance or something. Kel's Vengeance. Yeah, that's what it's called. And it just shows up on your map, and not match made. You have to come in with the team. Definitely a little more intense, but the mechanics aren't hard. And excited to do that because it's a callback from D1. But then also, just as far as other games, I have a lot of things that I want to jump into, but I'm kind of like deciding, do I want to start a new big game right now? Funny enough, I've never played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, and I want to hop into that. I know I'll like it, but I don't know if the timing's right now. Because I do want to, because in February there's some other things coming out, including, of course, the big Destiny update with Dreadnought stuff, and so then I just decided, okay, I'll just start replaying Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is one of the better ones. I think it was titled Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I forgot about the number or whatever, but forgive me if I got the number wrong, but it's definitely one of the better ones over time. And yeah, the graphics are a little outdated or whatever. I have an Ubisoft Plus subscription, so I get all that stuff. And I'm remembering very quickly how much I love the game, mostly the exploration point, because it just really hits an itch where it's in the Caribbean. And yeah, thanks, still it is 4. And the ship battles are fine. I know a lot of people love that a lot. I do like that too, but I really love the exploration. I love being on these islands that are like cool scenery with palm trees everywhere and lots of rocky hills and tons of caves you go in to explore. And it's just that's what I love about all these Assassin's Creed games. It's just the exploration aspect is off the chart. And so definitely excited to play that some more. And even if I don't finish the whole game before some other things come out in February, that'll be fine. And that's about it. Yeah, Zombie Pops likes it also. I mean, everyone knows it's one of the better Assassin's Creed games. It's up there. So check it out, even though the graphics are a little outdated.
The music is good.
Music is good. Yep.
I remember
yeah.
I remember the biggest criticism for Black Flag was everyone thought they'd be jumping from ship to ship, and it just gives like the screen just fades out, and then all of a sudden you're on the other ship, right? Is it still done that way?
I don't remember what you're talking about. I haven't done any ship battles yet.
Okay.
It
was a ship battles. It was a ship battles. Instead of where you're jumping on the other ship, it actually, you just ram into the ship, and then I guess when you reach a certain, yeah, it like transitions into all of a sudden you're on the other ship, right? Is that right, Worm? Did you play it?
There's two animations. You could jump on the ship, or you could just rob the ship. That give you the animation you're probably talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember that being an issue, Todd. And even if you did just appear, I wouldn't mind. But
I think Skill Up talked about it a long time ago when it first came out, and he said, I was hoping there'd be an animation, but they probably fixed that then. Okay, my bad.
I don't know. Yeah, that's, again, it's like, even though they have lots of ship battles, I still think that's not the majority of the game. The majority of the game is still the exploration on the islands. Right. That's the whole point, you know. But
I got you.
Yeah, they have the ship battles too. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gator, what about you, man? What have you been doing this week? I see you've been playing Rivals.
I've been playing Rivals like every night. So I've been playing the heck out of it. I'm trying to do comp in it to rank up, get the skin. Try to get the gold so I can get the skin that they have. And TV show wise, I played a little Fortnite. I rebooted up Warframe again. It had been a while since I played it. And
what do you think of that game, man? I'm thinking about it. I downloaded it. You like it?
Oh, Warframe's fun, yeah. Oh yeah, I like the campaign and everything to it.
Is the movement still kind of? I remember the movement was different than a Destiny movement, and it almost gave me
it doesn't. give me that anymore. I know you're talking about the motion
Yeah.
sickness.
Right.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it was anymore
Okay.
to me. But and TV show wise, I was on Disney Plus or saw an advertisement on Facebook for What If. I remember watching season 1 of Marvel What If. You know, I didn't know they had made 2 more seasons, so I got through season 2 of it, and I'm into season 3. I like those shows, those episodes, because it's kind of like, what if instead of Thor going to the planet with the character that Jeff Goldblum played in the one where he fought Hulk and everything, Tony Stark got sent there trying to save the Avengers. In the first one, the hole closed up and he got sent to there instead of Thor and everything. It's kind of interesting. And then how they actually flesh out a season, like something will actually happen in the season that at the end of it finishes the season off. Like it connects to the other episodes. Like they all start to interconnect with each other. So I've been watching that, and that's about it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I've been playing Iron Banner, man. Iron Banner's back. I played solo on Tuesday night on my PS5 Pro, and I must say there were some pretty sweaty games. But you know, and maybe it's like Kingsley always says, all the diehard players are on Tuesday night usually, whether it's Crucible or Raids or whatever. And I think I agree. It seems like every reset I try to jump on that night, and it's just like every player is a 2.0 and I'm going up against, and they all know how to use their gun, and bam, bam, I'm dead. I turn a corner, you know. Just those games just get frustrating, you know. But I did play with the community on the Thursday night, last night, and man, I played on PC with my PS5 controller, and I got to admit, I had a great time, man. Even though the player base is smaller on Steam, and we did play several, because we were in a 6-stack, so we did play several 6-stacks several different times throughout the night. But I got to admit, other than a couple 3 games that we were just totally smashed, it was just a pub stomp situation, you know, like a bunch of Trials players all playing on a team of 6. All the games were really close. I can't remember having a bad game. I think every game I did pretty good, and almost everybody on our team did. You know, Moonshine was in the back, you know, with his scout rifle, just sitting back there and camping like crazy, and, you know, not moving much. I think I was running backwards and I tripped over his feet. But anyway, it was I got to admit, I was very surprised. I thought going on, you know, because a lot of the players I was gaming with last night were on PC, and I'm like, well, you know, if we're going on PC, let's join them. You know, I get a little bit better recoil on my controller and stuff if I play on PC versus console. So
yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you think, because even though, yes, PS5 can do 120 frames now, PC can still do a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And when I switched to PC on controller versus PlayStation on controller, I felt like I was a better player.
Yeah.
Like I had better control of my controller, just the more frames helped and everything. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah.
Or not? You know?
I when I first played the when the beta came out for PC for Destiny 2, I remember I was blown away how much more accurate my controller was, and I had hardly any recoil on my gun, just like it was a totally different sandbox.
It's not just the recoil; the frames can help.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, I could play at 105 FOV on PC, but now I can do 105 on my PS5, and I can play 4K on my PC. I can play 4K, 120 frames, because that's my monitor's 120 hertz, so it doesn't make any sense to go any higher than that. Or I can play 120 at 4K on my PS5 Pro, but I prefer to play 1440p. Just something about 4K is just a little too in your face. I play usually 1440p on either console at 120 frames, and that's
PlayStation's upscaled anyways.
It is.
Crucible to capture 4K.
Yeah, and you can tell too, because I'll capture footage playing Crucible on PC at 1440, 120, and the same on my PS5 Pro, and it's definitely, you can tell it's 1080 at 120 frames. It's not 1440. You can definitely tell it's not the same. It's definitely upscaled. You can see it when you have that raw footage, you know. But no,
Just saying, you should consider PC more. It's the controller feels so much better on PC.
Well, I'm going to start playing more on PC because one, I streamed it last night on my channel. I think it was about a 3-hour stream, 3.5 hour stream, something like that. And, man, I had a great time. I'm just trying to think who was there. I'm terrible with names. I know HD Tech was streaming as well. In fact, I was lurking in his Twitch stream, and he was lurking in my YouTube stream. Zebrak, I think, was there. Moonshine, of course, because you can't miss him. He's way in the back. And let's see who else. I think Apex Cutler was there. I think Apex was there. God, I'm sorry if I forgot. People moved in and out. There were like 6 people, and someone would drop for the night, and someone else would move in. So yeah, we had. I think we almost had 2 6 stacks last night, and I think it was like 6 and 5 or something. But man, we had a great time. Great time playing Crucible. Oh my God, the Telesto is back. I was giddy last night because I could blink in front of someone, load them up with the Telesto bolts, and blink back before they could even do anything, and just wiping them out in one shot. I had so much fun with Telesto last night. I felt like it was the old Destiny again. I did test out several weapons though, because they did do a sandbox change, even though it was very slight. I tried a bunch of I tried the Mighty Multi-Tool because the rapid fire frame scout rifles got a little bit of a body shot buff as far as body shot damage, and I used that. I used the Chattering Bone. Some of the lightweight pulse rifles supposedly got more body shot damage as well. Chattering Bone I had a pretty good deal with. Stay Frosty with Desperado and Tunnel Vision, I did good with that. What else did I use? I wrote in my notes here. I used the Riposte, the last episode's comp weapon. It's a rapid fire frame auto rifle, and it was okay. It seemed to be a little bit better. And you got 52 rounds in the clip. I mean, you can just load up on people, and even if they're running from you. It's really hard to compete though with hand cannons still, and some pulses are very strong still too. I still think the high impact pulse rifles are still pretty strong. I didn't use any adaptive pulse rifles last night, but I did use I used a bunch of different things. What is the Worm, you may know this. What is the weapon, the auto rifle that is in the vendors right now? Oh, I got it right here. The Fair Judgment auto rifle. This thing is loaded with perks once you unlock it, playing Crucible or Gambit or even Strikes. This thing is fantastic. It has onslaught, dynamic sway, and it is really a good rifle. And it's just a precision frame 450, like a lot of the 450 rifles we use in the past. I was having really good luck with that. Another one I liked too was I have an uncrafted BXR5 Battler. That thing is hitting great. I have a Snapshot Sights elemental capacitor on that, and that one's been working good too. Really tested a bunch of different weapons last night, and I must say most of them felt pretty good. I even tried that Sweet Sorrow I had crafted. It's a rapid fire frame auto rifle, and it didn't do as well as the Riposte, but it still hit pretty good. Let's see. Outbreak Perfected, and the Outbreak Perfected was gold. It hit so well last night, and it's so damn accurate already. And if you just put a bunch of kinetic targeting mods on it, it's just even better. But I tell you what surprised me last night, Bad Juju, which is a 450, the exotic one that has String of Curses. I think I got 2 supers in a game because I was just killing people crazy. That pulse rifle, do not sleep on that one. That one has been very good. So that's been my week in Destiny. I didn't really, I did unlock my aspects for my Titan. I went back to Paleheart and I went ahead and unlocked those for the week. I'm going to work on my Hunter this week coming up because I know we're talking about some new subclasses coming here in the TWAB. Entertainment wise, I saw 3 movies this week, and I'm just going to really quickly go through them. The first movie I saw at the theater this past weekend was 3 hours and 35 minutes long. It had a 15-minute intermission in between, in fact. It's about a Jewish architect who was very famous for his works in Budapest, where he used to live before the Nazis took him to the concentration camps. And he was on the final death march, but he was rescued by some American soldiers. This is the time frame, think of the end of the Hitler era, where Hitler kills himself, and a lot of the Americans are getting into into Germany and rescuing what surviving Jewish people were left from the camps. The movie star Adrian Brody was the star of this one, and the movie was called The Brutalist. It got 93% from critics, 86% from audience, and Brody's already won a Golden Globe for this movie, in fact, for Best Actor this year. I was a little bit worried about the runtime, but the one thing I love about a movie that's really good, Lord of the Rings comes to mind, is long movies don't feel long if they're really engaging and they're really good movies. So I have to say, learning the beginnings of this Jewish architect as he made his way in America and all of the bigotry and hate that he had to endure along with, among the wealthy elite people that basically just used him to build and design buildings for him, was very enthralling for me. The most surprising thing that he used, that this whole story is not true. It was made up. It's fiction. So my wife, we looked it up, and it seems like this could be a true movie, but it is literally a made up fiction movie about this architect, but it was so well done. This one gets 4 stars from me. Very, very good movie. The second movie I saw this week at the theater was even better. It was a damn musical. And I know I've crapped on Wicked and other musical movies in the past. This movie is called Better Man, and it's the story of Robbie Williams. He was a big pop star in the early 90s. He started in a UK boy band called Take This or Take Something. And it was a real reckoning of how he had to deal with being famous and also battling all his insecurities and demons at the same time. And what was really ironic, that's the wrong word, what was really kind of cool about this movie was that he actually was a chimp. Because at the beginning of the movie, Robbie Williams says, I'm going to start out this movie with me looking like this because this is how I saw myself, as a chimp. So the whole movie is him talking about his life as a, and you see basically a CGI chimp. And I thought that was, I remember Kingsley, you told me that was going to be a big turnoff. It was not. It was really done well. And, he has, it talks about he has close friends with the Gallagher brothers of Oasis. It talks about some of his history with those guys. And, I'm not doing this movie justice trying to explain it, but don't miss this one. Even when it comes out on streaming, wherever it comes out, this was such a great movie. This one is probably my first 4.5 star movie this year. It's definitely going to be in one of my top 10s for 2025 because it just, one, I didn't expect much. I was expecting a musical, so I was making fun of it as I was walking in, and my wife was getting annoyed. And man, what a great movie. Better Man, the Robbie Williams story. It's a biopic, and all true. And wow, just a fantastic movie. Don't miss that one. It's probably one of the best movies I've seen so far. The last movie I watched was on Netflix. It came out around the holidays. I gotta admit, I'm sure glad I didn't watch this before I headed to the airport, my trip in DC. Jason Bateman plays a bad dude who manipulates good people into doing really bad things. It reminded me of the killer wit and quickness of his role when he played in Ozark. I don't know if you guys watched Ozark, but just cold and calculated and just really didn't care, kind of apathetic. He does that very well, in addition to his smart ass comments and stuff, or kind of his quickness when it comes to stuff. The movie is called Carry On. It's about a young TSA agent and with a wife and a promising life ahead of him, played by Taron Egerton. And he's manipulated into doing something unspeakable for Jason Bateman. And all hell breaks loose, and relationships and lives are kind of ruined in the process. It was truly a gripping movie, though, and I thought it was a pretty smart storyline. Think of the kind of a new age Die Hard movie. It's kind of what it reminded me of. It was loaded with suspense. It was loaded with drama, and I felt like I knew most of the characters involved in Edgerton's world in this TSA environment. I give it 3.5 stars. It was a good and entertaining movie for what it was, but that is pretty much it for me this week. Those are the movies I saw this week, and I've seen some TV shows and stuff, but I'll share that next week. I don't want to ramble on too long here, but 3 fantastic movies. My wife, we're just talking, we're on a roll right now with movies. Everything we've been seeing lately has just been just gold. It's been really good. So anything else you guys want to mention before I move on?
Nope.
I'm good.
You forgot?
I'm good.
No? Good. All right. Well, let's jump into some Destiny talk. So that means it's time for This Week in Destiny. All right, Kingsley, you ready?
Yes.
For the YouTube crowd, I'm going to actually show the TWAB on the screen, but you'll still hear Kingsley and all of us conversing. So I'm just going to kind of go through it as he is, and just a little extra visuals we'll have there for that. Okay. I'm glad you're doing the TWAB because I need to stop talking. I need to take a break. I think I need to take
That's fine.
I think I need to take a breath. Okay. Let's see. Let me get that pulled up here. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, This Week in Destiny for January 16th, 2025. And this is where I'm going to pass this talking stick over to Mr. Kingsley Mack.
Yeah, thanks. There's actually, it's kind of a larger TWID this week, and I will go over some parts in detail, and other parts will kind of go through definitely TLDR and curious what everyone's thinking. So after each section, I'll kind of give you guys a chance to speak up, and feel free and jump in at any point too. Anyways, we start off with talking about the new dungeon and the dungeon race. We have a name for it also. It is called the Sundered Doctrine. They did talk about, okay, it talks about it here too. And the dungeon is coming out Friday, February 7th, so the Friday after the Tuesday reset for the new episode. Now, this dungeon is going to be travel to Savathun's throne world and infiltrate Rolk's pyramid ship. Okay. And for the race, kind of like what they did before, it's going to have a contest mode for the first 48 hours. And this, what that means, it's a much more difficult version to go into it. Basically, you need to be at least 1995 power to even, get through the encounters. And that's where you're going to be capped out also. But this time, rather than a podium race, so I guess with the last dungeon, they did the top 3 teams. They're only going to have a single team that they award this time. But also, they're leveling up the reward. They're going to create a very memorable, unique honor reward to it. They're going to give their first ever dungeon race trophy. We'll get a glimpse at this new prize as we get closer to the dungeon launch, so stay tuned on that. Now, this is just obvious for a lot of people, but just in case you aren't aware, you got to have 3 players to enter on contest mode, and you do need to have the dungeon key or the final shape annual pass for that. That's kind of just obvious there, but they had to mention it just in case. Also, what they're doing this time, which they did last time, which I'm thankful for, is once the first team passes it and it's complete, and again, they're only awarding the first team, then it will open up for everyone else on normal mode. Okay. So I know I've had complaints in the past, contest modes, they just push back us that don't want to run it on the harder mode. But at least now they're doing this thing where when the first team passes it, which will be way less than 48 hours, normal mode opens up. But everyone else can still go into contest mode. And I may be jumping around a little bit here if you have it on the screen, but this is just kind of how I remember. Everyone else can go into contest mode still for those first 48 hours. And especially if you want the challenge and if you want a cool emblem. Actually, one other thing that's very important is you get the guaranteed exotic weapon drop. That's probably one of the biggest reasons why people would maybe want to go into it, especially if they're not knowing they're not going to get worlds first, is you get the guaranteed exotic weapon drop for doing it on contest mode. So you get that, you get the cool emblem, and they show a picture of it, and of course they're gonna have it streaming. So if you want to kind of see more talk on it and behind the scenes, they give a couple links in the TWID on people you can follow. And actually, it's going to start pretty early, 7 a.m. Pacific, so 10 Eastern, because I can do math. And yeah, people in Eastern never know how to go from Pacific to Eastern, but
It's
us
God's
at West
time.
know how to do that.
It's God's time. I can't help that.
I think God's time is where Bungie is. If you love Destiny so much.
Okay, whatever. Okay,
Anyways, but yeah, this emblem, I think it's interesting. It's pretty cool.
looks good. I like it.
Yeah. Now, what do you guys think? I mean, look, we know that the new episode is taking place primarily with the Dreadnought. I was hoping the dungeon would be something like that. I'm like, oh, we're just reusing assets and going to Roke's pyramid ship. But I don't know what you guys think about all the stuff we've talked about so far.
Worm?
Honestly, I was hoping to Dreadnought, to be honest.
Yeah, let's do.
I think, yeah, that's it. I don't have any.
Well, I like how they're just awarding one winner. I mean, I understood the podium thing. I did. And it was the first time they were doing a world's first, right? Or a race for a dungeon. It's the first time they've done that. So I like that they're giving one team, and it's going to be a trophy, not a belt. So something you can put on your shelf, like behind me here. So yeah, I mean, it's something nice you can show off, and they'll give one for everyone of the fire team. It's just kind of cool. Belts are kind of hard to hang up, you know, unless you got a big blank wall behind you or something. But no, I'm happy with that. I'm glad that once the first team clears it, that it opens it up for everybody, because I always hated that contest mode. I just wanted to run in there and get it done, you know, and get the exotic. Great. But do you have to be in contest mode to get the exotic guarantee? Probably do, don't you? Or is it first?
You do, and it's only for those first 48 hours. I also wish that doesn't really make sense to me, because, you know, this all started with raids were going for 48 hours. And I think they're going to switch it up when the new raid comes out with Frontiers, something similar to this. But if you get the guaranteed exotic on contest mode, which is a hard mode, it's basically almost worse than like an expert or a master mode. Why not just keep that as an option all the time, that people can pop in and run and get the guaranteed exotic? This is one of the just like brainless things that Bungie should do. Have more modes for all these things that people can do to get the guarantee rewards if they want.
I get that. I agree. Yeah.
So
why not?
Yeah, why not? Because again, if the first person that wins is the only one that's getting the reward, yet they're keeping contest mode open for 48 hours, yet normal can be turned on.
Yeah.
Well, why not just always have a contest mode or a harder mode that gives you the guaranteed exotic? But we'll see. Maybe those things will change.
Yep. Okay. No, that's all I had.
Yeah. All right. And then there's lots of talk here about abilities update in Heresy. And basically, we're going to start with huge updates with Arc. And we need to learn a new verb, because, you know, remember in the past when they would do abilities updates, they would give us verbs for things like jolt or whatever. Well, the new Arc verb is bolt charge. And I'll get to that in a second. And we're going to have 3 new aspects. And then we're going to talk about balance passes.
Okay.
Oh, this part I will read kind of basically all of it, because it gives good details. So some other things in the future I'll kind of TLDR. But they said they had time to sit with the ARC subclasses for some time now. We wanted to address a systemic need that they had with the reduced number of buffs the damage type has versus others. We wanted to use that space to add something that brought ARC to a powerful damage tool, which we felt was missing. However, Bolt Charge is a little different mechanically than our previous ones. What Bolt Charge is a positive stacking buff that you build up on yourself over time. Once you reach the max charge, your next ability attack will unleash a devastating bolt of arc lightning. Okay? While you have one or more stacks from any source, aspects, fragments, weapon perks, etc., dealing damage with any weapon increases your bolt charge stack. And each time a stack is gained, you gain a chunk of melee energy. Then at 10 stacks, your bolt charge is ready, and any ability damage, arc or otherwise, summons a powerful arc bolt, dealing roughly the same amount of damage as a solar ignition with a smaller area of effect. Different from ignition, though, bolt charge is tuned to have a more consistent and predictable uptime. I like that.
I do too.
Similar to the addition of frost armor to stasis with the release of the final shape, we have woven bolt charge into arc and prismatic suites to allow those subclasses to access this new keyword. The new arc aspects for Striker Titan and Stormcaller Warlock also feature a bolt charge. Please refer to the Bounce Pass section below. We'll talk about that. And they said they had fun designing it. The loop of gaining this bolt charge stack, building it up through combat, and then receiving this big payoff ties deeply into the fantasy of Ark's momentum-based gameplay, as well as being deeply tied in the Ark ecosystem, which has been open to new build crafting options. And we can't wait to see what we'll have. Okay, quick for me, and I'm curious what you guys think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still more
Yeah.
to talk about, but first of all, I do, and I wrote about this in the Discord today. You know, they're saying that people don't run Arc as much, and yeah, there's some things that Arc can't do as well. But I feel like people have been sleeping on Arc a lot, at least Arc Warlock. Arc Warlock isn't as bad as people make it out to be. There's some really good builds, even one that's updated for this act in this episode that I've been running. And the thing about Arc is you can just take down enemies so quick with, you know, the jolting and the electricity and the lightning and everything. And what's more, you have that, you know, that really fast movement speed when you're super powered. And so whenever I run Arc on my Warlock, I feel like I'm taking down enemies quicker and moving around the arena faster. And let me tell you, people always talk about, oh, you need solar to stay alive, blah, 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 all that stuff. But, you know, you'll also stay alive if all the enemies are dead because you're taking them down quicker and you're moving around so they can't shoot you. So I've always kind of liked Arc more than some people. And I think with this, Bungie might get more people on the bandwagon. What do you guys think?
Worm?
Yeah, I for sure agree with you. Like Arc really slept on. I love Arc, but I also love Void more. But Arc, I love the builds you could do with Arc, and you can stay alive, just kill things with orbs in your build.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it
don't
was
do Arc much, do you, Gator, on Warlock?
actually, I remember talking to Native Raider when he was doing builds for Destiny back before he jumped over into this Power World thing. I don't understand what that is, but anyway, he had a really good arc charge, or what do they call it, arc seekers or arc traces that would come back, and he would create this one build that you just got traces like all the time, and of course every time you grab a trace, it increases all your ability uptake and your super uptake. And I actually looked at the little, they gave like a 40-second video on the TWAB showing how it works. I like how the bolt comes from top and goes directly into whatever you're shooting. So I like that. It seems like it's more concentrated, but maybe heavier per shot when you use it, when it procs. So they were showing it on like a brig, and it was just taking that guy down quick. So, and I like the fact that it doesn't have to be an arc weapon or a arc ability. It can be any ability. I like that. That was a good move for Bungie. Yep.
And of course, I forgot to mention too, I love how they're adding this to the arc subclass and the prismatic subclass. So if you want to stay on prismatic, you know, you have some good options there.
I agree. It's a good move.
Yep.
That was it.
Good move. Okay, so a couple details on the actual classes. Let's talk about the different aspects that we get. So for Night Stalkers, we get something called On the Prowl. Basically, entering invisibility marks a nearby enemy as a priority target for you and your team. Of course, it doesn't work in Crucible. You can't see through walls.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Defeating priority targets creates a weakening cloud of smoke that makes you and allies invisible when passing through it. So you get the smoke too, kind of like
like someone throwing down a grenade in front of you. Yeah.
And when priority targets are defeated, you and nearby allies gain increased weapon reload speed and stability for a short duration, and are granted grenade, melee, and class ability energy. This kind of makes it sound like the hunter is becoming like a support subclass. Right?
I totally love this setup. This is so cool. We'll see how it works with coordinated people in Crucible as far as going invis all the time. But I mean, they do it when I play Crucible. A hunter that has these grenades that make us go, they do it right at the beginning anyway. But the fact that you get it when you get a kill now, that or with, you know, you have to kill that marked target, makes it really nice.
Yeah, and they said that they envisioned for this aspect was to embody what it means to be a Void Hunter. To us, it was important to reflect the fantasy of a bounty hunter. On the Prowl works well with the entire Night Stalker kit, and allows your allies in on the fun, which I love also.
Yeah.
For a short time, even Warlocks and Titans can feel like what it's like to be a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, didn't we ship a bounty hunter gun too? Curious. ...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so
That's cool.
That's that one.
I like it.
Next, we will go to Striker Titans, Storm's Keep.
Yep.
All right, this one, I mean, try to talk me into this, guys. It looks a little more boring to me. But anyways, Storm's Keep. Cast your class ability to grant a moderate number of bolt charge stacks to you and your nearby allies. Okay. While behind your barricade, you and your allies gain stacks of bolt charge over time, and any weapon damage will discharge max stacks of bolt charge. I mean, sure, but this sounds like it's doing like one thing compared to like the 4 things the Hunter one's doing. It does show a cool wide barricade there, but I don't know. I mean, they say, I don't know, they say it's especially potent with Rally Barricade as it allows multiple bolts from you and your allies to provide solid boss damage. It's definitely like a support one also. I just don't know if this one's going to be popular. Tell me I'm wrong in the chat, or if you guys...
I mean, they're taking this brig down really quick using it, but there's someone that's running ahead, not behind it, and I'm wondering how they're having a good time with it or not. But I mean, the bolts are firing pretty quick. Yeah.
It could be even better technically when we're talking about DPS. So it might be one of these more boring, like Will of Radiance in the past with Warlock. So it might be one of these things we're using for DPS. But I just feel like the Hunter one in general is more fun, and maybe that one won't be as good for DPS, but maybe it'll just be good for just overall stuff.
Okay. Yep.
All right. And then Warlock. Ionic Sentry is that one.
Yes.
And they said, we're just going to come out and say it. Everyone loves Arc Buddies. And an Arc Soul was begging us for a sibling. Behold, we found one in Ionic Sentry, our new Arc aspect for Stormcaller Warlocks. Basically, what the Ionic Sentry is you get to defeat targets with Arc abilities or weapons to charge it up, and then you activate Grenade, and it deploys, it kind of shoots out, and it goes in one spot, and it deploys a powerful Arc turret, which blinds on impact, and sends out bolts of lightning that can chain to nearby enemies and grant stacks of bolt charge when it defeats enemies. I think this is cool. I still personally think the Hunter one sounds like way like awesome, but like I'm pretty happy about this Warlock one also.
Warlocks
it
for the
sounds
win.
like just another cool, like they said, it's like a brother, it's like a sibling of the Arc Soul or Arc Buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the video now. It looks really good. Looks pretty powerful.
Cool,
yeah.
We'll have to see how potent.
A couple other things. When it first lands on the battlefield, it'll, like I said, it'll blind the enemies.
Right.
Dealing damage.
That's good.
You gain the stacks of bolt charge, which I already kind of mentioned. They said in their play tests it'd been a favorite of Stormcallers, providing much needed area control during combat and access to potent damage through bolt charge. So these build crafting paths for Stormcaller are much wider with Ionic Sentry in the mix. We're excited to see where players take it. I'm really excited for this next episode. And again, like I was mentioning at the beginning, I've never been down on Arc anyways. And now that there's a bunch of new things coming, I'm super excited for playing with this. And when the really cool builds come out, I'm definitely going to be on the Arc bandwagon as much as I can, where I don't have to switch to Solar or Void or something else.
Yeah, and I see people using this day one on the dungeon race because, especially in contest mode, it's the ads that just pick you apart health wise, and they just flood you with ads on contest mode. And it's like I remember thralls could punch you and kill you. It's like ridiculous. But with this as area control, I could see this being, and just the fact that it blinds. Yeah, that's the bonus for me. I've got an Arc Buddy that does just as much damage, but with my gauntlets, my exotic gauntlets, but the fact that it is area control, but it blinds, that's the key for me, which makes that map maybe something I want to try. Yep.
All right. That's pretty much on the new Arc stuff. Anything else before I move on to balance changes?
Do you have anything you want to mention on that, Worm?
No, I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Thanks for sharing those videos. It's really cool when they have the videos in the Twit also, and we can.
Yeah, I wish I could show it. I could share my screen but I can't show the right screen. That's why I can't show it in the Discord. Apologies. But you can always play this back, and of course it's on bungie.net. So
yeah. All right. This one, it'll be hard to know what I'm going to talk about or not, but I'll just kind of go through some things and then people can, pop
Wait a
in
minute.
what they want to talk about.
I have one thing I did want to say about these new
Of course,
abilities,
yeah.
these new aspects. You know, when Bungie came out with the new prismatic subclass, I'll be honest, I haven't used anything else because prismatic is just so good. You can use a lot of the powerful things from all the subclasses in one little handy dandy subclass, you know? I mean, you talked about getting charged up where you run fast when you're jolted, or what is it? I can't remember I can't remember what the
I forget. I was calling it empowerment, but that's not.
no, it's something else. It's called something. But anyway, it happens all the time when I'm playing Crucible or whatever, because I have an arc buddy and I've got a turret I'm throwing down that freezes people, and the arc buddy helps kill them and helps me fight other people in Crucible. This is so good. I have not used anything but this prismatic subclass on my warlock, and that's why I'm unlocking my other aspects on my other two characters as well, because I want to use everything. But Bungie, why aren't you putting this in prismatic? I verified this. The new verb that is going into prismatic. I mean the melees and stuff. Yeah, that's going into prismatic. But these subclasses, these actual aspects go into they're actually going into the light subclasses. They're not going into prismatic. Why? I thought prismatic was going to be the future of Destiny, because I think what they should do, as we get into further and further into 2025, I think in Apollo, they should add more aspects from the light subclasses that we might want to use. Amplified. Thank you, Zombie Pops. I'm amplified all the time. It doesn't matter what game I'm playing. And I thought this was the future of Destiny, where we can get away with all these different light and dark subclasses and just mix them into one giant subclass. Then we're not having to go around and pick and choose, because I feel like I'm handicapped when I use one light or dark subclass now, because I have so many other things that I can use. And then of course you have the prismatic prismatic class items now, which incorporate different character traits from exotics that you can use in your class item now, which is even better. So I figured this is the way Bungie's going, right? They're just going to make it where you can just build using all parts of all the subclasses, light and dark, in this prismatic. But now I'm finding out I don't understand the direction they're going here, putting this only in light.
Then you didn't read the TWAB. They told us from the very beginning they were never going to put everything in. It would be too powerful. They kind of test certain things, and prismatic can't be in everything, or it just won't be good to like have other options. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like think about it too. When you have something that's like a blend of like, some cars have better abilities than other cars. Mm-hmm. Like there's no way you can make one car that has like the best things.
I understand that analogy. I understand that analogy.
Also, if they're going to, let's say they do it and just make it super overpowered, then they got to get rid of the other subclasses because no one will use them. So until they get rid of them, they have to put things in the true subclasses and not only just in prismatic.
Worm, I'm going to ask you, are you using prismatic? Have you put prismatic down, or are you using other classes? I know you like void.
I haven't really used prismatic yet.
Really? Oh my gosh, it's so great. It's so good, man. I haven't put it down yet. I haven't switched. I think it's totally glued on my screen. I don't think I can ever move it. It's such a Swiss Army knife. It does so many things for you. Anyway. I guess
it's also like, I get it. I get what you're saying. And I prefer prismatic too when a build can fit in there.
Yeah.
But also you have a very slippery slope argument, Todd, because like if you were to say all those subclasses could go prismatic, then you could also say like all of arc might as well go in all of void, and all of void might as well go all in solar. And
I figured what they would do, Mike, is I figured they would just tune them let's just say Apollo, they're going to add the what's the solar warlock everybody wants. It's the only time people will switch to a solar subclass is when they need to put up the ward of not the ward, I haven't used it for so long I can't remember the name of it, but when you're running,
you're talking about warlock, the well or whatever,
the well of radiance, because they don't put that in the prismatic, and that's the only reason someone would switch to, at least in my opinion, would want to switch to a solar warlock.
Well, not only, but you're right, it is probably the biggest reason.
But what I'm saying is they could say, listen, in Apollo, we're going to add Well of Radiance, but it's going to be tuned. It's going to be tuned down a little bit because you're going to be able to use it with other grenades and abilities as well. So I thought,
like a light version of it.
I mean, I just thought they would, I thought they would eventually keep adding more to the prismatic until we have this full prismatic open where we can just pick and choose and custom tune our characters.
They'll add more. They'll add more, but probably not till Frontiers. I bet.
We'll see. I'm just confused by this move of adding more light subclasses to the light subclass and not sharing it and making it not making those aspects available in prismatic. That was my only beef, because I thought that's the direction Bungie was going, and apparently
no, they told us
they're
in
not.
the beginning they weren't going to do that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I was irritated about, because I'm like, geez, he sounded like a lot of fun. And I was even talking to I can't remember who I was talking to in the Discord today, and he says, man, I hope that is in prismatic, because that would be so much fun to use. And then when I found that it wasn't, I'm like, well, that's just another thing on my Warlock I'll just ignore, because if it's not part of my prismatic, it's really hard for me to go to an arc subclass only, because it's so much more limited on what you can do with it. So anyway, that was just my opinion.
See, that's what I was saying at the beginning.
I know
people need to try it. It's not limited. You just need to try it more.
The problem is there are so many ways you can build your Guardian now in this game.
Yeah.
We talk about all the guns, but we have so many different ways we can build our Guardians now, and they've simplified build crafting so much versus the first time they offered it in Witch Queen. And I don't have enough time to put all these builds together. If you look at my dim right now, I got like all these different builds from all these different subclasses, and I have prismatic ones now too. I have so many builds that I can just one click. But if for someone who's getting into this game and is trying to realize what's going to work best without watching YouTube and seeing what builds are really good, it can be really confusing for newer players or people who are just getting into this. So it can be overwhelming.
That's why they shouldn't worry about it. They shouldn't think like a player that's been playing forever, and just be happy with what you have and just start slow and then slowly add things over time.
Well, that would go ahead, Worm.
No, I get what you mean. It sucks that it doesn't. I mean, like, not a lot of stuff are added to it, but they're probably going to add it during Frontier and stuff. But I see.
I mean, I just thought it'd be even easier if Guardians just had to go to one area and just totally build into whatever they want to do with the prismatic. I thought that was the direction they were going, but apparently.
Well, actually, I would be okay if they got rid of the other subclasses and just did prismatic only, but let's talk about this for a second. Okay. Let's say they do that, so everything's under prismatic, because then you don't have to worry about the other ones. But then would that be kind of sad, only having one subclass?
Would you, let me, before I answer that question, let me ask you, do you think this would make the prismatic overpowered with these extra aspects? They don't seem super powered to me. I mean, they're powerful, but you still have to switch to it. If say, let's just say I want to use that arc aspect, that means I got to give up my turret, my stasis turret. I mean, there's give and take. I mean, you can't stack four of them with both. But I'm saying is that's the checks and balances, right? Is the fact you can only use two aspects. You can't use three or four. I just thought, I was disappointed they didn't add it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they add it later. Go ahead and just roll it in. We'll see. But to answer your question, because I tried to avoid that question, but I can understand. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm still getting that bug where if I kill something in the game, all of a sudden it's like, oh, go to Ikora and unlock your new subclass. I'm like, I got these unlocked, guys. I got everything already, but yet it still tells me to go to Ikora to unlock, different things. It's a bug in the game. It doesn't bother me. It's no big deal. It goes away on its own. So no problem. But I wouldn't be sad if those light and dark subclasses went away. Not if I can use all the elements, all the fun elements of each of those in prismatic.
Yeah, if you could use them all together, and then if they went away, I could see it both ways, because in one way, and still it would be balanced where you couldn't do too many things in prismatic at the same time.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's kind of taking away an identity, even though prismatic can be a multiple schizophrenic identity, but it's still taken away other identities we already had of pure arc, pure solar, and pure
I get that too.
Void.
And then I guess
I wouldn't be upset, but I'd be maybe potentially disappointed, is what I'm trying to say. Like if they took away the other ones.
I just think the game has to evolve as players evolve, and I think prismatic I thought that was the feature, and maybe it still will be, but I was just surprised they didn't add this as an aspect. Now I get it. putting all the fragments from all the other subclasses into all the fragments that we already have in Prismatic, that would be just a nightmare of just rows and columns of stuff. That definitely would make things more confusing. But I don't know. I think the aspects, I think they could put in there.
And then one last thing that maybe why they wouldn't ever get rid of the pure arc, solar, and void is, I know for sure the answer for D1. I'm not sure for D2. Someone tell me if you know anything, but I feel like, especially if they bring back like original story things, there's stuff that why we're supposed to have arc, solar, and void. So if they got rid of it, it wouldn't make sense if we had all these older things in the game.
Okay.
Like when people talk about the subclasses or the story or a mission says, let's focus on the arc subclass or something like that, you know.
There's just so many subclasses now. I don't have time for any of the other subclasses now. I'm just having so much fun mix and matching on my Prismatic. So that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like a stretch to add aspects. That's all.
All right. Heresy balance changes. Okay. You know, the primary focus with balance changes are going to be arc abilities, but they are going to have several non-arc changes as well. Hunter, Arc Strider, updating Tempest Strike, basically killing any jolted target grants a stack of bolt charge and increased damage against PvE enemies by 57%. That's pretty big. Disorienting Blow, basically will grant a moderate amount of bolt charge. A couple other things. Arc Staff. Okay. Reflecting an attack will grant a stack of bolt charge. So that's good.
It is.
Ascension.
Blight Ranger, guys.
And,
Blight Ranger.
Yeah, go ahead.
Blight Ranger.
Oh,
if you like deflecting arc staff, that's going to be a good exotic helmet.
Ascension, increase fragment slots from increase them to 3, so it must have been 2, I'm guessing. So that's kind of cool, actually. Yeah. So so even though Prismatic is not as much as you want to do, at least if you go back to Arc, we have more options to do more in the Arc subclass now. So they're trying to make it so people will want to use it. For me, it's an easy sell, and I don't even know that I'll stay on Arc, but I'll definitely check this out. All right, Thread Runner, Ensnaring Slam, activating it will activate the effects from the following abilities: Gambler's Dodge, Marksman's Dodge, Threadling Spectre. They don't want to activate every ability perk, but we may add more in the future.
Okay.
Threaded Spectre will increase the clone's PV damage from 40% to 70%.
That's big.
Titans. Barricade, increased damage resistance versus combatant splash damage attacks. This is huge. When standing behind a barricade from 60% to 80%. It may not sound like a lot, but boy, any little splash damage protection we can get, trust me, will make a difference.
Yeah. Makes Titans more important.
Yeah. Striker, Juggernaut. All right. While Juggernaut shield is active, players now have splash damage resistance again, and 60% splash damage resistance in PvE, and even 10% in PvP.
Great.
So a little bit of something there. Ballistic Slam, sprint time requirement before activation significantly reduced. I like this one. Damage versus PvE combatants increased by 30%. And each enemy damaged by Ballistic Slam grants a stack of bolt charge. And again, I'm not reading over all these things, but I'm just kind of choosing some. If anyone wants to speak up, you can.
No, I'm following. You don't have to read everything.
Yep.
People want to get down the nitty gritty. They can just go to bungie.net.
Right?
Yeah.
Sentinel, Unbreakable is getting a lot of charges there. I mean, I don't know what in here is like the most notable because I don't know much about this at all. But let's say this: Ward of Dawn now does a weaken pulse when the ward is created. So that could be interesting there.
Must be like an initial weekend pulse, when it's activated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sunbreaker, Consecration, reduced Scorch Wave and Slam Wave damage in PvE by 55%.
People were not happy about this. Not happy.
Yeah. I know they give some more details about it, but that'll be cool. Okay. Warlock, I might give a little more details because I'm a Warlock.
We're both Warlocks, yep.
Storm Trance, increased non-champion PvE damage by 20%. This is really good. I think, again, Storm Trance is pretty good. I'm using it in a build right now. I was using it in the dungeon, and it's not bad, especially with some of the buffs it got. It kind of has that increase. Also, if you're using it on even just like a boss or a mini boss, how it ramps up in damage over time.
Mhm.
So it's not like a one and done like a Nova Bomb or something, but you're getting closer to total damage output if you stay on the boss. Now, what I like about Storm Trance, though, is, and yes, you can do this with Nova Bomb also if ads are nearby, but with my Storm Trance, I can focus on the boss a little bit. There's some ads behind me, turn around real quick and get them, which a Nova Bomb wouldn't get, and then I can turn back to the boss while I still have my Storm Trance going and do some more damage. So, again, try it, people. I know Storm Trance, you'd be like, oh, that one's always been so weak lately. Well, it's getting better.
I always love Chaos Reach.
But Chaos Reach is getting better
so
too,
much
not
fun.
as much, but
Yeah.
15% increase. And again, this is on non-champion.
Yes.
And then Lightning Surge removed, amplified on cast. Well, that's not necessarily that's more of a nerf. But it grants a stack of bolt charge for each enemy hit. So again, you'll have that and increased damage versus PV by 30%.
Okay.
Okay, here's one of our here's Void. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably happy about this, or maybe not. But handheld supernova. I mean, we don't use it much, right?
Not much. I got killed by it in Crucible last night. I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, all these things, I don't know if they're still going to get people to use them, but let's just say one here: reduced projectile damage in PvP from 20 to 15 per projectile to account for additional projectiles. I don't know. What do you think? Do you see many people in PvP using it?
Like I said, I was surprised when I got killed by it. They actually, what they did is they threw an Axiom bolt that I was shooting, and then they followed it up with with the handheld supernova. I was like, wow, I didn't expect to get killed. It's not very strong in Crucible.
Yeah, probably not. But you see, that's the thing too. Like sometimes if we don't play around with these like lesser popular ones, you can get really surprised when someone does have a really good build. They're like, how are they doing that? Well, you could do it too if you actually tried these lesser builds.
It's all in the builds, even in Crucible.
Yeah.
Every little bit.
Yep. All right. Solar, all classes. Radiant, damage bonus reduced from 25 to 20%. Probably because Solar has been very popular and maybe it's a little overpowered. This isn't going to be a huge difference, but whatever. Will of Radiance remains unchanged, but the main Radiant damage, which probably Hunters will be the least happy with this, Golden Gun and everything. Stasis Frost Armor, increased damage resistance per stack. Okay, they're still trying with that. This is PvE only. Arc Amplified, okay, I like this. While amplified, PvE combatants are now less accurate against you. Okay, well, I was saying earlier, I already feel like I can move around the arena and they're less accurate on me. So
that's pretty good.
This is really going to make me feel like a god when I'm amplified now.
Okay.
And also, while amplified, players have a 15% damage resistance. So, geez, like, I'm going to be rocking and rolling this amplified.
I'm amplified all the time with my prismatic as is.
Yep. And that is good that this is in prismatic. So so even if you don't get tempted to switch to arc, Todd, at least there's gonna be some things in prismatic.
Mark, buddy, will still be doing work. Yep.
Spark of Discharge. Picking up Ionic Trace grants a stack of bolt charge. Okay, that is good. That is good. I mean, everything's coming into bolt charges now if you have the right aspects or the right builds. They're really, of course, building on these bolt charges.
Of course. Yeah, they put time into it. They want people to use it.
Yep. Spark of Momentum also building into bolt charges. Bunch of other things here. I won't go into all of them. But Prismatic. Facet of Hope can also now be activated by bolt charge.
I like it.
Facet of Purpose now grants a stack of bolt charge on orb pickup when an arc super is equipped instead of granting of amplified.
That won't apply.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't fully get how that'll work for me, but I'm sure people will make a build around that.
Yep.
And Facet of Sacrifice can now be activated on bolt charge.
Okay. I don't think I'm using that either.
Last but not least, modifiers, Brawn, tuning healing sources to better balance the health economy when this modifier is active.
Yeah.
All right. Balance stuff. We good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've already shared my
oh, it's a fair opinion. Yeah, I just
now
I do challenge people to consider Arc.
Right.
Try it. I'm not saying you have to love Arc, but try it, see if you can come up with a cool build, and then who knows, even I'll be going back to prismatic also.
Well, some people in our survey mentioned that we should talk more about weapons, and I just want to say one thing. You talked about frost armor going up from damage resistance from 4.5 to 6.25. If you go and play Crucible, any of the activities, Crucible, Vanguard, or Gambit, and you unlock this Fair Judgment rifle, look at what it comes with. Headstone and Rhyme Stealer. Basically, you kill something, it creates a crystal, right? You break the crystal, and boom, you start getting stacks of what we call the frost armor. So definitely, this will be even more reason why you want to get this weapon, just to be able to try this Headstone Rhyme Stealer roll. I got this perk because I've already doubled up on Crucible rank, so you might have to do that to get something like this. But I just want to let you know, man, I'm not putting this rifle down. In PvE, I'm probably going to be using this with that setup you're talking about with the frost armor. So I just want to mention that since frost armor is getting even stronger now. So yeah, that was all I had.
I think, looking at big picture, I think it's normal to be this way. There's no way everyone can and have the time, even if you're the biggest player ever.
Yeah.
Try there's probably millions of possibilities with this,
absolutely.
let alone popular builds that streamers come out with. And it's okay to not try every little build and subclass and things, but look for things that you like. Like if you like being a healer, I love Amplified so much. That's what brings me back to Arc. And whether it's in Prismatic or Arc Pure. And
it's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Riven's wishes are back, but they are called Past as Prologue.
The bento box.
This starts this coming, after the podcast comes out next week.
It'll be tomorrow. If it comes out on Monday, it'll be tomorrow, reset.
Yep. And it's a prologue of sorts leading into Heresy, and we get to see what life in the universe is like when there aren't any gods around for us to slay. This time we spend a few quiet moments with Eris and the Drifter, remembering how far we've come and answering the age-old question, can pineapples bloom on the battlefield? Is that something we're supposed to, is that a reference to something?
I have no clue.
I have no idea.
Okay. Anyways, if you played Riven's Wishes last year, this will feel similar. What you're going to do is you're going to visit Drifter to pick up quests. He will be the one instead of Riven. That will reward a special currency called bento tokens, like a bento box. These tokens can be exchanged for some pretty snazzy rewards over at Eris. Throughout the event, you have the chance to earn a total of 8 bento tokens. That's the most you can get, so spend wisely. Make them count. Now let's check out what some of these rewards can be. Okay. Now it looks like each reward only cost 1 bento token, I think.
No, some of them cost 2.
Well, what's the difference between the second and the third column? What does token cost mean then? I was confused by that also.
Yeah. It's saying you can get...
they don't cost 2. You get 2 Ascendant Alloys, but they only cost 1
exactly.
token.
But if you keep going down, you'll see the weapons. Some of the weapons actually cost, like the Cloud Strike.
You're right.
It's going to be 3 tokens. That's expensive for a Cloud Strike.
Yeah. So a lot of these things are similar. I won't go through all of them. You can get Ascendant Alloys, Shards, Ciphers,
all the mementos.
Spoils of Conquest. A lot of mementos.
All of them.
Tons of mementos.
All of them, right? I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
They're 1 token each, so you can get 8 mementos if you want to use just some mementos. Yep.
And then weapons and armor. This is where we start getting into. There's some that only cost 1. There's some that cost up to 3. Cloud Strike.
I might get that Horror's Lease Adept. I don't think I got that from a GM. I don't run enough of them. I think I tried and I never got it. So I don't have to look at my inventory, but that might be something to get. The Horror's Leased Adept.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, and this was kind of the thing with Riven's Wish too. I do pretty good on all my currencies, and maybe I'll get one of these mementos. I already have the good ones, weapons and armor. I'll try one of these quests and see if they're fun, but I imagine they're going to be boring things to do.
Well,
but
yeah,
they are something to do with guaranteed rewards, so it works for Todd.
All 3 classes can get Artifice Armor if you've just been avoiding having to do it, but it's going to cost you 2 tokens per piece of armor for each character. So you can use six
I know.
Six
Even
tokens
artifice
for
armor, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just let you know it's good. And it says
remember,
it says high stat roll, so I don't know what that means. 62.
Yeah, I know.
It's-
When I hear what it actually is, then
Yeah.
I'll believe it.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about artifice armor, maybe because I already have a couple that are okay, and maybe because, yeah, they can help with the build, but then also, aren't we getting armor changes in
Yep.
in Frontiers?
Yeah, we are.
So I feel like, anyways,
Mhm.
I'm not talking it down. This will be great for a lot of people, but I'm just saying for personally myself.
I'm a little disappointed because I was really hoping there would be some weapon frames in here, and there's not. Like I used it to get a few weapon frames from the what is the raid in the Dreaming City. I actually got the auto rifle and the scout rifle using my Riven's wishes. Yeah, I wish there was some. I would have been great to have some. Like I want to get some of the crafted weapons from the new revised weapons from Garden of Salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
just play the raid with us.
I know. I need to play. But I'm just saying, it would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been a thing. I think I even did get some Last Wish weapon frames, even though I prefer RNG stuff, and I had some good rolls from Last Wish. But when they did make the, and again, I like how they did it with the raids. Is the building weapons came out after RNG versions. I'm all fine with that, and then I did get some of them too. I forget why. I think didn't they update some of the perks also? Maybe that's why I
maybe
went for some of the frames.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
They added some of the newer perks, to some of those weapons. Yep. I just want the fusion rifle. It's the best fusion rifle I've ever used.
Really?
Even better in Telesto. Yeah.
Well, for PvE, I'd say
well,
there's better fusion rifles.
Yeah, I use it for PvP. It's everything I'm always thinking PvP. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next we have the voting results. I always forget that this only goes for like a week or so. Like I didn't even vote. Forgot.
Yeah, I forgot to vote. I actually clicked the link and it didn't pop up. I think Zebrak put the link in the Discord and for some reason it wasn't popping up for me. So, but I'm glad.
All right, Titans won Slasher at 53%. That's pretty close actually. So it could have gone either way.
Both Titans look good. I would have been happy with either.
Hunter,
not happy.
I'm upset. Yeah, 57%.
Yeah.
The screen.
Ghostface looked so cool for the Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get this one a little bit. I know you didn't like the white. I'm not the biggest fan of also. The roses are actually pretty cool,
I guess.
And the thorns, but like Ghostface was just so unique.
We got Slenderman though, man. 73%.
Yeah, Warlock.
That's badass. It's badass.
Slender.
That's really good.
It's gonna look so good. See, Bungie,
I'm not saying this one. I preferred the other one, but whatever. It's fine.
People listened to me that time. Not on the other one though. But yeah, man, that looks so good. That's going to be so much fun to earn, but that's not till next October. But the good news,
they do these things. I think they've done them pretty far in advance the previous times too. Maybe not this far in advance, but
the good news.
One interesting thing though.
Yeah, you're probably going to say what I was going to say. No, go ahead.
Yeah, their runner-up entries basically they don't have plans to revisit them. However, they are going to a little bit. There's the Kaiju Lizard Hunter. Is that what I'm understanding correctly? This part I didn't read as much ahead of time.
No, what they said basically was all of the armor pieces will be offered at a later time. The ones that didn't get voted.
A later time. Yeah. But there's something coming up sooner.
The release a legendary Hunter Cloak ornament that pairs with a new look of the Dragon Shadow Exotic Hunter chest armor. Both items will be Kaiju Lizard themed and pull inspiration from the old Festival of the Lost Concepts. I don't know what I'm not knowing what they're referring to there. I don't play Hunter enough. Lizard team. Anyway.
I don't understand.
Well, it is, but it's coming up during Heresy, they said. So yeah.
Okay.
The runner-up wizard designs from last year's vote is coming out during Heresy.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. They said on that first line there.
That's right.
All right, game to give again. 2025.
Sorry, Kingsley. I'm sorry. I just want to mention. I don't know if you mentioned this, but they are offering the Chatterwhite shaders coming back, You have to earn 5 of the tokens, I think. 5 bento tokens, and you'll automatically unlock the Shatter White.
Yeah, I don't know why they put
Shadow
that
White.
out of the art.
No, I know we breezed over it. I just want to make sure we mentioned it for those listening.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Game to Give, January 23rd. Basically, mark your calendars. Yep.
Bungie doing good things.
There.
Yep.
Yep.
You don't have to go over the Fashion Week. We don't have to explain all these. I didn't do it the last time I read it, but look in the tab. They have some more fashion themes that you can vote on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one interesting thing is people have already submitted music from the dungeon. If you haven't tried the new dungeon yet, there is an organ which people have been calling the Scorgan. I love that. I call it the Scorgan, and they do here also on the Twid. And basically, there's enough notes on there where you can come up with some tunes.
We were playing with it a little.
Yeah,
we were there doing it.
And there's already been tunes people come up with, like
crazy.
The Guardian theme, also Deep Scorn Lullaby, Brahms Lullaby.
Nice.
In the Hall of the Mountain King.
People, you got way too much time on your hands. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I guess people that like music and want to do things. So,
more power
to if you want to showcase it, come up with a cool tune and use the tag Destiny2 Scorgan, and they may promote you.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Now I got to go see those videos and hear them. Nice.
All right. This is an interesting one. It's funny how they put this under player support report. I mean, yeah, there's known issues and stuff, but people are like, why is Slayer's Fang causing self-damage? Well, guys, this isn't the first weapon to do this. Sleeper Simulant can kill you, and also, oh gosh, now I forgot the
I think
King's Fall exotic.
I've been hurt by Telesto bolts. I've been hurt by Telesto bolts before too. If I run into them too quick,
Yeah. I know it's not common with a lot of weapons, and obviously, like grenade launchers, if you shoot them on your foot, that can kill you and stuff. But they had to explain how, I guess, because maybe shotguns don't normally kill you. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
So. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
So they talk a little bit about, I won't go through all of it right now, but they could talk about and it's kind of built into the narrative design too for it, on how you can get a little bit of damage to yourself. So it does a little damage plus a short weaken effect instead of outright killing the player. So at least it doesn't kill you. As always, though, they're happy to see the feedback, and we'll continue to adjust Sandbox accordingly.
Just the fact that it's a close range weapon, maybe need to tone that down.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway,
but known issues, as of course, there's some pretty big ones in the dungeon. I haven't run into them, but probably the biggest one I've heard about, which I thought I read in a tweet that they fixed, but it still has it here. But this could be really bad if it isn't fixed. Only one player in a fire team receives credit for destroying the illusionary anchor, and that's for getting those intrinsics on expert mode for the catalyst for the weapon. So pretty big bug, in my opinion, if it's still happening.
Yeah.
Anything else anyone wants to talk about?
No, I mean, shit's broken.
Otherwise,
some
things are broken.
Wait, Worm's got to do it. Worm, what's up with player support report? Worm.
I didn't say it.
What do you mean? Support?
He missed the point.
I missed the point.
Do you remember? Right. We have a saying we sometimes say. I like to mix it up. But shit's broken.
Shit's broken. We're continuing the tradition. Shit's broken.
Way to put it on him.
I know. I'm sorry. I caught him off guard. That's all right.
Artist of the week. There's always cool pictures.
There's a nice
yada.
It's very beautiful.
But at the very end, and they did follow up on a tweet to give us even more information. I don't know if you wanted to talk about this at all, Todd.
Go ahead.
Basically, they're kind of giving us some previews of things coming up. They're going to have some major previews on the horizon for weapons and armor, as well as looking at the upcoming Trials of Osiris revamp.
Yep.
Now,
again,
let me pull. Yeah, right. Let me pull up what this actually means. Okay.
Yeah, that was Mercules. Mercules tweeted that out today. Yep. All right, he actually retweeted it. Yep.
Retweeted it. Yep. Okay. So what they told us more details today, because of course the tweet came out yesterday, but next week We'll be walking you through major updates to the Lighthouse and rewards experiences in Trials of Osiris. We're also rebuilding the way ranking works in competitive Crucible, updating how we track and utilize skill in Crucible, reorganizing our playlists, Iron Banner Quick Play, ? And more.
There's only one problem with that. You've abandoned the Crucible players for so long. There may not be enough people left to even make that any of that stuff work. We'll see. Maybe you'll bring him back. Maybe you'll bring him back. I'm still a faithful Crucible player, but the population continues to dwindle. We'll just have to see.
I predict that Heresy will have a bigger bump than this last episode in Act, but it still won't be a huge bump. And of course it'll go down after a bit, like how it'll still track down, but I do predict Heresy will be a little bit better.
We gotta have some fun with this, Kingsley. Come on. All right. What was maybe you can look this up. What was the bump on, what did the player bump go to the maximum on Revenant? Do you have those numbers? Let's get a wager going here.
Was that in our chat?
No, we were just looking up Steam numbers, and we were trying to see. You said there was a light bump when Revenant dropped, episode 2. Yeah, that's fine. I can edit this part out. By the way, we were talking about the Prismatic, why they're not adding it to Prismatic, and Zombie Pops did make a good point here. He said that it is a pay issue, that if you don't have Final Shape, you don't have Prismatic. So that makes sense too. They're trying to make it available to everybody. I get that, but still I'm a little disappointed.
Okay. So it's been hovering for Steam right before Act 3 came out. It's been hovering about anywhere between like 10,000 to 18,000. Okay. When the new Act 3 came out on January 7th, it only went up on Steam to 36,000.
Okay.
That's way lower than any other act or episode or season in the past.
All right.
And it was only that first day. The next day, I mean, almost, but definitely the day after, it went down just as low as it had been before.
It's because you could play the story in one day, in actually a couple hours, not even a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
not everyone hops on the first day. So
Heresy being the last one, everyone kind of knows is going to kind of lead into Frontiers. What do you think the bump will be?
I don't know about numbers, but I would say, if I had to guess,
well, let's go with numbers. So I want to have a little friendly wager, just a friendly wager.
I'll be optimistic and I'll go with doubling. So I'll go with
60?
like 60 to 70,000.
Okay. I will say less. I will say 40 to 50,000. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
What do you think, Worm? Worm, what do you think it's going to be? Just Steam. Just Steam.
The Steam. Yeah, I see, like 55 maybe.
Okay.
60.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just a friendly wager, just so we're on the record here.
This is fun.
Yeah. Why not? All right, cool.
We have to remember that the very beginning of an episode versus the second and third act in it, we'll always get a bigger bump anyways. But so for all I know, it'll go even more than 60 or 70,000. But
I hope so. I'm
I
hopeful.
also predict it'll come down very quick again too.
Well, it doesn't matter. I just want to see how many peak are logging in that first day. I just want to see what the bump is. I don't think it'll be as strong as that. We'll see though. We'll see. People, because there's no FOMO. People will maybe just log in as they have time, but I'll be logging in. But I'm curious to see. So you're saying 50 to 60. I'm gonna 60 to 70. I'm gonna say 40 to 50. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Now, if it's higher than mine for some reason, I still win, right? And then if it's
it's like Price is Right. It's like Price is Right. Yeah, the one's closest to it. Obviously, if it's 78,000, then you're going to win, or even 80,000, you'll win, and I'll lose. But I'm predicting it's not going to be that high. So we'll see who.
Okay.
And let's make it friendly. Let's make it friendly. What if I win? If I win, you have to play. We'll make it simple. You have to play. A prismatic. Do you have all your characters unlocked? Your prismatics?
Not all my characters on prismatic. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Fine. Then we'll say no. We'll say can we do here? Let's see. Let's make it interesting. What do you think, chat? What can we do? What can we do? What would really annoy Kingsley? You got to make it a little painful.
You can force me to do trials with you or something. I don't know.
Yes. Oh, I like it. I like that. You have to run a card of trials with me.
All right.
And
Are you sure you want me to?
dude, I don't care. It's for fun. Now, if you win, what do I need to do? I know what you're going to say.
I don't want to just go with the obvious one of run a raid with me, but that's all I can really think of right now.
All right, about run. Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
We'll run a raid together because actually I know it sounds obvious, but it still hasn't happened for a while. So
yeah, I haven't done a raid in months, so I haven't run a raid.
I won't pick a long one. I'll pick a shorter one.
Pick whatever you want. It's your choice. Yeah. Zombie Pops.
Well, just because trials isn't going to go for like 2 to 3 hours.
No. Trials card will take maybe an hour and a half, maybe if that's Zombie Pops. I agree. Get him to run trials. I can hear him bitch and moan. That'll be awesome. That'll be priceless. I'll stream it. I swear I'll stream that one, and then he can stream me.
You guys have no idea. I don't. I'm not dramatic, so
he's not. But I've seen him get close. I've seen him on the edge. Playing Iron Banner. So, all right, fair enough, man. No. I don't. Zombie. Don't. We don't say that word in chat.
I'll get both left.
You're lucky. RNG Gator isn't in that chat right now. Anyway, all right. Thanks, Kingsley. That takes a big load off my back. Oh no, it was a huge twab. No,
I didn't even charge as much as I was hoping.
But it was important. It was important. We went over a lot of that stuff. So we have a revisited. RNG Gator deleted it. We're revisiting a topic of the week, and we're going to do that when we come back. Stick around. All right, cool. Thanks, man. That takes I was able to save my voice a little bit. All right, good deal. Yeah. You know what the topic is going to be. Anybody need to take a stretch, use a bathroom or anything? Now would be a good time. We don't have a whole lot left. We have our topic and then we have some questions from our Discord and then we're done.
Good either way.
Are you good, Worm?
I'm good.
You're 20. You're 20. You can handle it. Us old guys, our bladders aren't as strong.
No. My bladder's still fine.
Fine, whatever. Yeah, but I got 10 years on you. All right.
Yep.
Well, no, almost 10, not quite 10. All right. Let's get into our revisited topic here. Yep, we're good there. Okay. Let me get to my point in my notes here. I wrote down a lot of stuff here. Not a lot of stuff, but here we go. All right. 3, 2. Well, last week, Kingsley and I mentioned some things that we thought could turn Destiny 2 around and attract new and returning players. And one of the items mentioned got a lot of feedback in our community. They also had lots of questions around it as well. And that topic of Bungie in 2025 switching their income model to a subscription service. Instead of their past, buying DLC drops and seasons, either a deluxe package price, like I usually buy it, or buying the expansions a la carte. We talked about how confusing it is for new players to know what to buy and what to get. And since we had Wormwood, and hopefully RNG Gator will be back in here in a sec, I want to hear their opinions because they weren't here last week, and I'm just curious what they think about it. Since you've been playing Destiny since you were a young lad, Worm, what do you think about the idea of changing Bungie's income model to a subscription service? Have you ever done a subscription service on a game?
No.
Okay.
And I don't plan to.
So it's a no for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Chad, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think, man? What do you think about, because you did a World of Warcraft subscription service. You want to share maybe how you felt about it when you played World of Warcraft? Is it something you like to do, or?
I had no problem with the subscription service because I knew what I was getting into. I just don't think Bungie's going to be able to implement it. I don't think it's going to work for them because there's going to be too many people that don't want to do it. Unless, like Kingsley said in the chat, unless you're coming out with a new game and doing it, doing it in Destiny 2 right now is not going to work.
Yeah, and I think
they're going to be resistant to it. Very, very resistant to it. That's the way I feel about it.
And I thought World of Warcraft added it later, and FUD even told me that
Mhm.
no, they offered it ever since they started the game.
Ever since they started 2004
Yeah.
when the game came out.
I did not know
That'll
that.
be the hardest thing is when to switch. I even mentioned that in last week's show.
Mhm.
I think I have a more nuanced approach, of course, as always, and I think they could in theory, but it's going to be very difficult. Frontiers would have to
I
be
mean,
maybe twice as big, or maybe include Frontiers without, you know what I mean, include that the first year of something in a subscription service. Maybe then it'll work. Obviously, it could work with a Destiny 3, but it'll be very hard to work before a Destiny 3.
Go ahead, chat.
yeah, but you can't sit here and do a subscription on a new like Frontiers thing because I don't think Frontiers is going to be this big of a change of what we're already getting. I really don't. So,
Well, yeah,
or
and
what
that
you're
along
already
with
getting, and you do that, and people are just going to be like, well, why in the crap do I want to spend money every month on this when you can just, I mean, if you start a new game, unless you're going to bring everything else back,
that's
you ain't
kind
got
of
to
what we
bring back D1
do.
stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bring if you'll reopen everything in D2 that you vaulted and say, okay, if you're a new guy, okay, the way WoW works, it's free up to level 20. Once you hit level 20, you got to buy a subscription and you got to buy the new DLC, which was like $50.
Gotcha.
And other than that, if I didn't want to play the new DLC, or you can work yourself up to level 70. I didn't buy the new DLC until I hit 70 on my character in WoW. Because 70 to 80 is what the new DLC gets you to level 80. So
Right.
there was no reason for me to buy the new stuff when I could just play Dragonflight, which was the campaign before the War Within. So I just played through Dragonflight bought my subscription for 6 months. Played through Dragonflight, got myself to 70, learned the game, and then bought World Within, and I just beat it. I'm like level 77, 78. I got like 2 more levels to hit max. Now I'm working on my gear score so I can raid with my guild and everything. I got to get up to 600. I'm around 540. And that works, but I also have access. I can go back and play any campaign from the beginning. I can go back and play Burning Crusade, which was like the very first one. And trust me, you can tell by the graphics, it's the very first one.
That's pretty cool.
But I can go and play it. You get something called time walking. You go to a character called Chromie. You say, I want to time walk this campaign, and it'll take you to it, and you just go through it.
That's so awesome.
And you have a whole list. You have every campaign on your screen from beginning to end. You pick one and time walk it. So
And
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That they would really have to revamp Destiny to do a subscription service, and I don't think they've got the team to do it right now.
But one other thing I'll add is the yearly things is where I think they can get people. So, like for example, Worm, did you buy Final Shape just the DLC or the annual pass?
Just the
Okay.
DLC.
But a lot of people do buy the annual pass. But let's say, because with subscription services, a lot of times they have a yearly option too. And some of these numbers we were talking, if you paid the yearly number, it was pretty close to, because obviously you would get a discount versus paying monthly.
Yeah.
And if the yearly is pretty close to what we're already paying right now anyways for yearly content, and if they still have that as an option, and you're getting more than we even get now, and Bungie's getting more money in their coffers, that's like my perfect scenario. You know, you don't have to pay monthly. You can pay a year and do it that way and get it at a much discounted price. But yeah, it probably wouldn't be as low as 40, 50 for DLC only. Unfortunately, the yearly would have to be kind of that 100 to 125 range or something like that.
well, we had
Just like, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say we had a lot of feedback in a Discord. I wanted to share some of what they said, and we'll comment on this after this. Hammer Crasher chimed in. He says, I have an issue with the subscription model coming on late in the life of a game, like RNG said. I already paid hundreds of dollars to play the game. Some of the content isn't even there anymore. I already pay Xbox for the ability to play games online. If Bungie wanted me to pay a subscription to access their game that I've already paid for and pay for an expansion, I'd tell them they're smoking crack. I'm not paying more to access something I've already paid for. I really like Destiny, but I would have to bow out. Now, basically, NACL said something too. He goes, if Destiny 2 goes to a paid subscription, the only way I'll continue to play is to bring back all the content that I paid for. Even if they don't and give subscription credit for a year, which isn't enough to compensation for the 3-ish years worth they took, I will drop this game without a second thought. Elmer Fudd Games said, I think if they wanted to do a subscription model, it would have to be a tried and true idea from Todd the Gator, Destiny Online. Bring in a fresh start with all the content available and move forward from there. No way to make it feel good in Destiny 2 after so many years. Arisen Phoenix chimed in. He said, I can see the benefits for new players. I could have maybe considered it back in Destiny 1, but generally I'm opposed to subscription models. I have enough money going out every month. But if I have a chunk of cash to spend and I feel it's worth the purchase, I'd rather drop it all at once. Then it's done and paid for. I can base the big purchase on if I feel they've earned it. I feel like a subscription model makes developers apathetic to everything except cosmetics. The money for the content is, quote, guaranteed, but they'll work hard to boost profits with cosmetics. But also giving $10 to $15 a month for something my whole family can use, like Netflix, is easy to justify. That same amount for something that only benefits me? Nah. And Copilot, which I don't even think she even plays the game, she goes, I have no skin in this game other than what large franchises can do to sway what other games might do in the future. But based on the conversations from others in the community, I hear there is some really good stuff in that Sunset content. So maybe. And then lastly, one of our raid boss patrons, amazing Taco King. I love saying that name. So at Todd the Gator and at Kingsley Mac, with a subscription model based idea you two kind of kicked around on the show, what would be the gimmick to validate the subscription? You both mentioned monetary value and compared a long-standing different subscription based game, but they both have caveats to them. With World of Warcraft, like you mentioned, the sub just gives you access to the base game and up to the second to last expansion. But in order to play the most up-to-date version, you need to also buy that expansion. As far as money goes, technically, yes, Bungie would have to get more per person if it was $12 a month. But if you decided to stop subscribing, would you have any access to your account anymore? Would there be a freemium option? In most MMOs where you see a sub-based platform, there's always a gimmick with it. In other words, ESO gives you access to premium dungeons and currency plus an infinite material storage tab. DC Universe gives you access to all content in the game for a sub fee, or you can piecemeal your game. Fallout 76 gives you premium currency and an infinite material storage space and an extra player mini base. So other than having access to the game in its entirety or buying an expansion alongside it, what would be the gimmick subscription add-on you would want to see? So I know Kingsley, we talked about this in depth last week, and we don't need to go down and talk about all of it again, but what do you think about that question? What would be the gimmick for you? The caveat, I guess.
Well, it is something I was going to mention because it goes along with what other people were saying too. I think they should have done the subscription a long time ago, because a lot of people were saying I would only do the subscription if they brought everything back. Well, if we would have had a subscription this whole time, they probably would have never gotten rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and we have to remember one of the big reasons we're bringing this conversation up, and I understand it'll be painful for some people, but a lot of times when people stop playing the game, it's because there's nothing else to do, right? They're not interested. And if there's more stuff in the game, and let's say like, so if all the stuff comes back and we have a subscription, then Bungie can have more money. You know, if people are going to stop playing the game anyways, and Bungie just stops, you know, they go out of business, or Sony says, sorry, you're not doing anything, we're not making enough money, then I just feel like it's hard. It's probably past that line where they can do it at any good point. But I wish they would have done it a while ago. That's always what I say about things. Like, I wish they would have been making a Destiny 3 a while ago. I wish they would have done the subscription a while ago too, because at least if people were doing that, we would have all the stuff in the game. You know, when people are worried, like, well, if you stop paying, what do you lose? That's a good point. But
It is.
People stop playing the game anyways when they pay just the DLC and then nothing else, and then there's nothing else to do, and then they stop playing the game. So at least while people are playing the game, there's a guaranteed amount of stuff going on. I don't know. It would have to be, like they said, gimmick. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a negative connotation word, but the benefits that you would get from a subscription, like we said, would be old stuff. You know, it sucks that they took it away, but this would probably be the only way we would get it back. So old stuff would come. You get more new stuff than we're getting now. You get tons of stuff in Eververse, and we've had different opinions on what that means, but it has to be something that the average person would appreciate per month. Tons of Bright Dust or tons of Silver or tons of free stuff in the store, like Gator's idea, but tons of stuff that we would get.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have to be a price that's not too much, like a 10 to 12 monthly. And I even think, because this is smart, because a lot of things people have like a plus subscription. So maybe like a $15 a month one where you get more stuff in the Eververse.
Yeah.
Or like $100 a year, you can just pay up front and be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're
again, that's my basic idea. I totally I get why people don't like it. Totally fair. But what's the other alternative? Bungie goes out of business and Sony shuts them down in a year or two, you know?
Yeah. It'd be $144 if they paid $12 a month per annum. You know, I'm not per annum,
but it would be
per
cheaper
month.
if you pay yearly.
Yeah, but if it was like the first year, if you get involved with our subscription service, it's $99.99 instead of $122 or whatever, $144.
And that includes everything, more
Yes,
than even what we're
yes.
getting right now. Like
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Worm or Chet, any of you guys want to chime in on your comment on this?
I mean, like we were saying about a subscription, like WoW right now, if you subscribe to it for a year, it costs you $12.99 a month, which saves you about 24. 12 month and 6 month are the same price. A month is $14.99. If
Okay.
you cancel it, you lose access to the ability for your characters above level 20 as you're active. You're at game time. You're pretty much taking your game time out.
That was
So
my
as a-
question. That was
you
what I
don't
asked you.
lose any character progress. You don't lose any items.
You just can't access
Your
it.
account essentially goes into it. It
That's
just goes
smart.
into a starter edition,
Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
and then once you reactivate it, you have access to everything you had before.
You go right back to what
You
you've
don't
earned.
lose nothing.
Gotcha.
Correct.
So if you're having a lean month and you can't afford, or you're not playing WoW this month, you could
Right.
arrest it and come back. And when you are ready to play, all that time you've put in, respecting the player's time, is right there waiting for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think I like Kingsley. You know what I'm saying? You could try it with Frontiers, but you're going to have to entice people to want to do it.
Yeah,
Not, hey,
I know.
Frontiers here, you can subscribe, but we're still going to keep everything you got. Well, what's the point? Just
Right.
sell me the game and I'll buy it, and we'll just keep up the model we're going. That's
Right.
stupid. You know.
Maybe even the better idea would be Frontiers is another traditional year, and even though they can't have like a big Destiny 3 thing, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do realistically here.
It's
But
hard to say.
I
yeah.
just don't think with the state of the game it's in right now, subscription would probably split the game worse than it already is.
Mhm.
Is what I'm getting at.
I know,
It would
but,
do more
but
damage. I
in a
feel like it would
way-
do more damage unless they're bringing stuff back with it.
Yeah.
Unless they say we're bringing everything back, a subscription with what you got is going to hurt the game right now more than it's going to help it, in my opinion.
I agree.
I can
So,
pretty much guarantee though,
Yeah.
like how much would it hurt though? Because like, let's say you lose 40%
every
of people
streamer
that don't
that-
want to subscribe, but
yeah.
the rest of the 60%, they're getting more money from than they were before. It still may be a situation where Bungie's now making more money and they can develop more stuff and have more stuff in the game.
Hire people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but unless they get more people to work on the game, how are you developing? Right now, they've got so many bugs that come out.
I
with
know, and that's
seasonal
the
stuff
chicken
and
and the egg.
everything. That's my point.
That's
You
the
don't
chicken egg
have the people
scenario.
to
Yeah.
back it up because you're making more money. Okay, Sony's gonna be happy about that, but your game's still gonna suck because you don't have the people to work on it.
That's why
That's just my
Sony
opinion.
should have helped with this and had another studio. Like back when Bungie was with Activision,
Mhm.
one of the
Mhm.
worst things that happened when Bungie left Activision was the other studios.
Yep.
And they could have
Raven.
been working on some more things. And then, hey, now subscription's starting and we have all this extra stuff that's coming with it.
Worm, do you want to add something?
Honestly, I feel like people will find something to hate
Oh,
for the subscription.
that goes without
Yeah,
saying.
people-
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's a
people will
Destiny
find
community.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will find something to hate on it, and people will see all the negatives,
Mhm.
then the positives.
Think of it this way though. You're a new player, you don't make a ton of money. Do you really want to drop $40 in an expansion and not know what you're going to get, versus all I have to pay is $12 a month? I mean, most people can afford $12 a month. I mean, well, it's $12 a month. So what is it? An hour's work or half an hour's work or whatever people get paid
Well, it's
now?
one less burrito from Chipotle per month.
Exactly. It's 2 trips to Starbucks, right? You're saving, no coffee for a couple days of the week. It's not a lot of money is what I'm saying. And I'm not being pompous here. It's just not a lot of money these days. I mean, my God, man, a gallon of milk's $5 now. I mean, geez. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Don't even start with bacon. But yeah, Worm.
Gas live here.
Yeah, I
Gas live here.
just wanted to make sure you had a chance to talk, Worm. Was there anything you wanted to add to the conversation?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That's
Well, there's 2 major caveats that I would lightly mention in last week's show, and they are epic moves if Bungie was able to pull this off, and existing players would buy into it. The main reason I mention a subscription model is based on a conversation I brought up years ago in a past episode of Guardian Downcast. The new player experience is really crap. Fudd mentions it here in his feedback. He says that truly the main problem with Destiny is if they could just figure that out. It really is their main problem they're dealing with. They'd be golden. The amount of people I meet from other communities that say they tried it once and had that confusingly bad experience and never came back is staggering. My wife gave up, even with me helping explain things as she played. I gave up on the new character as someone who had been playing a crap ton of Destiny. Even I was bored and confused with the new player experience. So the first caveat is that all or most of the Sunset content that we already paid for, guys, would need to return in Destiny 2. That means Red War. That was a huge moment where new players could experience how we felt back in 2017. Remember when we lost everything as a Guardian? We had to limp into the EDZ and slowly start building our Guardian up again. And yes, I understand that they gave it to us a little too quickly, but at least the new players will be able to have somewhere to start in Destiny 2. It would lay that basis for many of the characters you see in game today. And Steel Zealot even mentioned this. He goes, it would also introduce those characters that have prominent roles in content. Season of Defiance for Devrim, specifically Hawthorne in the Tower. Gaul, I think he meant Callus here. He's called back frequently when it comes to Witch Queen and a lot of the story with the light suppression, the pyramid ships and the Shadow Legion. So for attracting new players to the game, which is what keeps these giant franchises alive, like World of Warcraft, Path of Exile, StarCraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, even Warframe, Bungie needs to figure this out and fast. Bringing back the initial story like Red War at a minimum would be the first caveat versus the new player being confused with what DLC to buy and looking at $400 worth of stuff they have to lay out if they want to play the entire game. And bring back the Leviathan raids. That was for you, Fudd, as well. The second caveat, and this is what I think most people were missing when I talked about it last week, is that the microtransaction mess that Bungie utilizes now is not keeping existing players interested in the game. Bungie would not only need to eliminate or limit silver purchases, but in addition, award tons of bright dust to unlock cosmetics in the Eververse store, which I think is impressive. As far as offering ships and sparrows and even weapon and armor skins, the artistry is fantastic. Also, it would fix the problem with players trying to complete their collections of shaders. That's me. And the emotes that they missed out on earlier seasons of the game. That FOMO everyone's always talking about, right? That's the one question I get all the time with my emote video is, I love the emote video, but where do I get these emotes? Well, you only get them when they're offered at Eververse and you usually have to pay for them. It's either part of some featured thing or you have to pay for Bright Dust for them, and there's probably an equivalent of silver you have to pay for them. That would be a monumental shift. This whole thing I'm talking about, it'd be a monumental shift for Bungie, but hey, how's the current system working for them? As a company, having to bank all your profits on one single DLC, to me, that's a risky business. And it's not smart. It's not a smart income model to me. I mentioned last week, my business runs on repeat service to my customers, and I do a lot of route work. I can easily forecast my income for the next year, not including new business, but let's say the worst case scenario is it's a wash. So in other words, whatever new business I get, I lose business because people die or move or just aren't happy with the service. I digress on that part, but this is why I mentioned the subscription model and why I think it can work for most players and make players happy, assuming the content's good. Yes, the content has to be good, and make the devs and Sony happy as well with that consistent income stream from subscribers and fans of the game. So I just wanted to clarify those stipulations, that it would need these caveats would need to be in place for the subscription model to work in my eyes. I don't know. These are just things that rattle around in my head all day while I'm at work. But I just want to make sure I mention that. And that's why I wanted to bring back this topic of the week this week, because I think a lot of people missed it. They kept saying how, well, I've already bought that. I've already bought that. Why should I subscribe to something I've already bought? Keep in mind, they'd have to bring back most of that content. I mean, Forsaken would be awesome if they brought that back too, to fight all the bosses again and, God forbid, go through all that with Cade again. But new players would have it available where they can figure it out. Most new players are like, Cade died? Who's Cade? You know? So that's the reason I wanted to bring back briefly this topic this week, because I think a lot of people misunderstood when we were talking about it last week, Kingsley. And those are huge things. And is Bungie going to do it? Probably not. But I'm just throwing it into the ether that if they did this, and I'm so refreshing that I have a co-host that's on my side on this, or at least understands where I'm coming from here, because me and Hazel would fight over this. It would get nasty over this topic, and we would actually get into a shouting match sometimes. But I think Kingsley sees where I'm trying to go here on this. And like I said, they would have to offer, it would have to include Frontiers, obviously, because if you're going to pay $100 for a deluxe version of the annual, whatever, seasons and the 2 DLCs, what if you said, hey, if you join our subscription model, you can pay the $100 for the deluxe. You'll get all the seasons and all the DLC, all the little mini expansions we got coming out, the Behemoth and I'm sorry, Behemoth. There you go, RG. And Apollo. You can spend $100, or you can start our subscription model over here for $12 a month, and you'll get all this extra stuff for free. You'll get all this extra content that we're bringing back. If they did that, I guarantee you a lot of people would buy in. And then that solves Sony's problem. It solves Bungie's problem. They have that full income stream coming in. I swear this is what makes Warframe such a great example, because if you look at Warframe's numbers, they don't spike. They don't go up huge, but they have such a consistent amount of players that tune in every week and play their game. And it's because, one, they listen to their community, and two, they offer everything in the game, and you don't have to buy it. You can play and put time into it if you want to get it. So I know, as I think it was Dimwee mentioned, that not everything is gettable in game. There might be a few premium options, and that's what I mentioned to Kingsley last week. Maybe they offer a couple featured, if you want to buy silver, like some real elite exotic like ornaments or something, then you could do that for the whales out there, because I know they want to catch the whales too. But how much are they buying now from you, Bungie? How much are they buying every week now? I know you guys got to be feeling it. So anyway, if anyone out there for Bungie is listening, I'm just throwing it out there in the ether, and I'm sure there'll be people who don't agree and people who's like, maybe, but that's why I wanted to bring it back. Did you guys have anything else? Any closing thoughts, anything before we move on?
I think everyone comes from different sides. What's really interesting, since Bungie took stuff away, because you're mostly thinking about the new player, I'm mostly thinking about it for the current players.
I'm thinking all of it.
Players, yeah, but I mean, I still feel like current players, especially if they've bought a lot of stuff already, they don't care so much about the stuff they already have. And yes, Bungie took stuff away, but I think more importantly, it has to be what we're getting, not.
Yes.
And yes, things do need to come back, but I think it needs to lean heavily on what we're getting also.
Yeah.
And then we can, for a future week, we can always have topics of like, is it more important to keep future players versus new players? And also, let's say they don't have we're probably not going to have a subscription model, but I can pretty much guarantee that Frontiers, there's two parts of it throughout the year. They're not calling DLCs, but 2 expansions, whatever. And I can pretty much guarantee each one's going to cost at least $40 anyways.
Yep.
So that's $80 for the year right there. Probably a regular version, not a deluxe version.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get, say, like for 100, 110, 20, whatever, you get everything for the year, plus more, because it's this cool subscription thing now, then I don't know. I think we just need what we're trying to get out here, people, is a way for Bungie, at least what I'm trying to get out. I can't speak for Todd or Chet or Worm, but I want Bungie to make more money.
Yeah.
So that they stick around. And if there's a way they can do that with subscription, which I don't know if they can, but if there's a way to make people happy, then they will stick around. And even if it's a slightly painful in theory, but a lot of people, when they really do the math, they're like, oh,
That's a no-brainer.
I was already paying
Yeah.
$80 a year anyways, or I was already paying, or I can get one less burrito this month. Then maybe people will in the long run realize it's a good idea because Bungie didn't go out of business. But
yeah,
I know I'm not saying they have to do this or that you're wrong if you disagree.
And they have to respect the player's time. If you've got your Guardians up to 2,500 power or whatever they decide to go to, and you take off the month, you should, just like World of Warcraft, you should be able to come back and get right back in it at your power. You don't lose anything. You get your value for the time you've played the game. But there's a reason World of Warcraft is here 23 years later. There's got to be a reason why that game is still so popular and that studio does so well.
They have a large studio and they were always subscription. So again, that goes back to I wish Bungie was subscription a long time ago.
Yeah.
It would have been easier.
Yep. Anyway, Chet, Worm, any final thoughts before we move on?
I'm good.
No.
Okay. We got a few
I
questions.
feel like it's a Todd Mike soapbox.
That's
for this
okay.
one.
No, I like I said, you saw the feedback. I just read it. I just read it, and that wasn't even all of it from our feedback channel this week. And I love seeing this in our Discord, because not only if it's something really valuable input, like I said, like this week, I'll mention it on the show, because we're just trying to get the conversation going here, if anything. And I love that our community plugs right in and gives us their 2 cents as well. So thank you for that, guys. Speaking of Discord, we do have a few Discord questions, and this is going to be kind of the final wrapping on our show tonight. And we got a few. So we'll be right back and we'll get to those. I got to make sure I hit stop record and record without my shortcut key here. It's driving me nuts, man. That's the only thing I'm thinking about is please don't lose that recording. All right, let's get into some Discord questions and we'll call it a night, guys. Okay. I cannot tune to the Discord. I'll have to do it on my phone, because otherwise it'll change the screen. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the Discord questions. And we did get a few of these tonight. So, okay. Here we go. 3, 2. All right, boys and girls, this is part of our show where we get questions from you guys. And we did have a few questions in the Discord tonight, so I wanted to make sure we bring those up. Noli72 had a question. He goes, overall, what class do you think has the worst strip and could put together the least Riz build? I think this was directed at Worm from Noli72. What do you think? Worst strip and could put together the least Riz build. I don't even know what Riz means.
I would say Hunter probably has the worst.
Really?
Pretty much it's all the same.
Wow.
It's all the same.
You got a cape.
Yeah, but it's all the same though.
Mm-hmm. Well,
There's no like.
No judgment.
Titan, you can become a SpongeBob SharePoint. You can actually be like something like that.
Yeah.
Titans have some unique ones, yeah.
Yeah, they have so many unique. The Hunters just have all the same color match. Then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Shadow V had a question. What's your favorite build to run on your main characters, and why is it your favorite?
I love my stasis build, but I wish it could be better.
Your Stasis Hunter?
Yeah, Stasis Hunter. Gloves, the dust field grenades.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I wish it could be better, but I can't usually run it on Grandmaster, so.
Do you think there's a survivability problem with hunters in PvE?
No.
Okay.
If you have the right build, you could like survive pretty a lot.
Okay. I was just curious. I think even Titans sometimes have a hard time surviving in PvE, but now they have stuff that gives them force fields and stuff. Believe me, I've been dealing it with Crucible lately. Okay. We had a question, a non-Destiny question, but we'll go out on that one. Shadow B had a question for all of us here. Do you think trace rifles will be meta again?
I hope so.
Trace rifles.
Were they meta ever? Maybe in PvE for a little bit, right? Remember that one weekend. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
the trials, or it was a trials week. Yeah, it was a trials week, or
Very
Crucible
true.
week. Yeah, the laser tag. I remember that. I don't use a lot of trace rifles, but I tell you what, there is one trace that I love using. It's Void. It creates the Void ball. It came out with Season of Arrivals, I think.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that trace rifle. I'm trying to find it. Yeah,
I mean,
there it
I
is.
did have an arc trace rifle build about a year or so ago with an arc build that I really liked.
Mhm.
They're fun at times. In fact, that makes me want to pull it out again. But yeah, they have kind of been a little forgotten.
I had one. It was the Wave Spear with
Wave
where's that
Splitter.
chest plate?
Yes, Wave
With the
Splitter.
Gear Falcon.
Yeah.
With Gear
Yes.
Falcons.
Yes. Ruinous Effigy is what I'm thinking of, because you can do a lot of I don't see a lot of people use this weapon anymore, but it's a really good weapon. You can do a lot of ad damage in PvE. And now, does anybody still use Divinity? Kingsley, have you seen people still using that?
No, I mean,
no?
there's been a couple times recently where it's better than what people remember.
Yeah.
And there's been some fun, goofy things you can do with it, but it's never like the heyday it was like, what, 3 years ago now at this point? It's been a while.
Yeah. I was just curious if you still see people using it in raids and stuff, because since you do a little bit more than I do.
No.
Yeah. We had one non-Destiny question here, and it was a long one, so buckle up. It is from our pal Jimmy Rayner, the original Jimmy Rayner. He says, do you think that with the rise of AI, blue-collar jobs, that you need to have a specific skill like yours in pest management, or mine, electrician, will be the longest lasting in time and best paid jobs for middle-class workers in the median? I can't see any office jobs or IT being sustainable long-term, as probably all the jobs that have to interact with computers or can be done with simple step robots. My sister went to translator school for 4 years, and I told her back in 2016 that this job would be obsolete in 10 to 15 years, and I think we're getting even closer to her skill set being pretty useless in our modern world. The other job that would be should be family save is social work with children and teens, so teachers and stuff. Not so much the elderly. There is no benefit to treating the elderly with real people. Their lifespan is close to the finish line, and they cannot do anything bad to society, like societal child being brought up by robots. And do you think that people will get more into do-it-yourself as soon as our pay outpaces the market? I was kind of hoping RNG Gator would hear this, because I know he works in IT and stuff, but, well, hell, Kingsley, you do too, man.
Kingsley.
Oh yeah. What do you, yeah, he's still here then. What do you guys think about that question? I think about this all the time, because I'm in a service business. I interact with people, and you have that personal human touch with people. I think I agree. I think the trades will probably be one of the last things AI replaces before they take over the world. But what do you guys think? I mean, you guys work in various fields.
Yeah, I am not worried. I've been in the technology sector professionally for 20 years, and even grew up as a kid interested in technology. And I'm definitely a futurist. I title myself that. And first of all, AI is a way overblown term. It's not as AI as people think it is.
Yeah.
But more importantly,
Yeah.
people were saying the same thing, if not more, when computers were first coming out. And they did not replace all the jobs they thought. Some things did, but usually things moved around. So like graphic designers, drafters, things like that, people doing data entry. What happened was you just had to learn slightly different skill sets of using the computer and then still doing your job. And it's going to be the same thing with AI. What we're going to have is computer people, IT people, graphic designers, everything using AI to help us do our job, but we're just doing slightly different things around it. So no, I don't see AI taking away white collar jobs as much as people are worried about.
Okay.
Same. I don't see that right.
You think so, Chet, too? Agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that right now. I mean, what we mainly use it AI for is meetings for transcribing, and like our Teams meetings and everything. You got Copilot to help transcribe the meeting, so you don't have to sit there and try to write down everything everybody's saying.
Yeah.
And my new job, I mean,
yeah,
it helps us. I mean, it helps like our new job. I mean, it's not technically AI, but my steel plant we're building, there's a bunch of automation in this, but the automation is to keep us safe because you don't have to be out there with hot steel being poured into a ladle and stuff being made, and you can sit in a pulpit and watch it, and you've got stuff automated to move the steel down the line instead of having a person out there to do it. Yes, it might take away a job here or there, but you still need the people to fix the stuff when something goes wrong. But you're also not taking the chance of somebody being killed by a steel beam or a rebar or something, because they don't have to be in the pit to do it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, I don't see, I'm like Kingsley. I don't see AI right now taking over the world. No.
Worm, what do you think, man? You think about AI?
Not really.
No?
I work in a warehouse, and we still need people.
Yeah.
Like to actually do the job, to pick the items, and like to like pack stuff. So.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I've used AI to come up with show notes before, and half the time I have to go through it and fish through it. There's a lot of phantom stuff, or what they call ghost or whatever. It's not really true, or something that's like so outdated. It's like 5 years old that I can't use anymore because it's not true anymore, or something's better, or something's changed. I think anything that requires critical thought, no zombies. No, you watch too much Terminator, dude. Skynet will not take over soon.
Skynet.
Now, if they start putting AI into our automation, like our government automation, and that scares the hell out of me, I worry about that stuff. That kind of keeps me up at night sometimes. But as far as critical thought, like problem solving and combining that with physicality, where you have to physically do stuff with your hands, I think that's why trades will probably be the safest for right now. That's why I'm not really losing sleep over it, because of, if I can see if you send a robot, even if it was a really smooth humanatronic or whatever robot that acts like a lot like a human, interacts friendly with the customer, and the customer's like, well, I have ants in my kitchen. How do I take care of this? They have to have years and years of experience. They have to be able to inspect areas and look into, they have to have the experience to know what to do. And it's not something you can just go to the internet and go, because believe me, I have customers all the time. They go, well, I looked it up on the internet and it said to use this. And I'm like, yeah, you just multiplied them, because now they're going to break off into mini nests, and then you're going to have 10 areas where they come from and not just one. But that's a pure example of where people try to go to the internet to get answers, and it ends up making the problem worse. So for my area, Jimmy, I think we're fine for now. I'll be dead and gone by the time my job gets taken over by a physical robot. So, yeah.
And he even said that too, but he was wondering more about like white collar jobs.
Yeah.
And
buying computers.
I don't even think the white collar jobs are as in much dire as a lot of people think they are. Again, ask me if things change in 5 or 10 years from now, but all it's doing is slightly moving stuff around on the white collar jobs, but I don't see it killing white collar jobs, because people said that was going to happen too when computers first came out, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and that didn't happen. In fact, there's probably more white collar jobs now.
And you two both have to use critical thought as well to problem solve. So we're all kind of in the same area where we have to, troubleshoot, run some stuff, see if it's working or not. And we, just like an electrician isolates a circuit and just goes circuit by circuit to figure out, I know a lot about electricity. You have to isolate, areas and find out where the break is or where there's a bad ground or something. It takes a human to do that stuff. So I think AI has been overblown, and I've been reading articles about how a lot of these companies who started AI are going broke. All their money, all their angel investors are bailing because they're realizing that no one can make money off of it. They're having a hard time monetizing it because nobody trusts it yet. Now, as far as an assistant, like, giving me ideas for a show, it's probably work pretty good. And like I said, like creating an outline or something to really quickly decide what to talk about every week or whatever, I could see where it would help there, but that's just like having an office clerk or something that does that. It looks up stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we're there yet. Is what I'm saying. So that's it. That's all the questions from our Discord. Before we go, we like to add some music to our Guardian Downcast show playlist, and I'll leave a blank right here for Mr. Fudd to chime in. Thank you, Mr. Fudd. Well, it's the final part of our show where we like to add some music to our Guardian Downcast show playlist. We have the playlist is available on Spotify and Apple Music, And I think, Chad, it's just me and you tonight, man. What are we going to add to the music tonight? I'll start with you, man. What are you going to add tonight?
Okay. My song is by KB and Lecrae. It's called Church Clap. It's really
Okay.
upbeat song. My daughter loves it, and I got into it, and I've been wanting to add it. I had to go look at the playlist and make sure it wasn't in there.
Yeah, I pinned it. I was just making sure I pinned it. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. You added it. Okay, good deal.
Yep.
Well, for me, the song I chose tonight, it's the song we all heard at the Game Awards last December. It's one of my top 5 bands of 2024 when we talked about top 5s. They created the second season Arcane's theme song. It's 21 Pilots, and it's The Line. I really love the live version they had with the orchestra and stuff behind them at the Game Awards, and it immediately went to the top of my list for song picks. So The Line by 21 Pilots. And like I said, I've said it last a couple episodes ago, I love how they keep reinventing themselves. They keep making their music different than previous albums. I love groups that do that, and that just shows a lot of creativity. So, well, that is it, guys. That is our show tonight. We didn't, we're about on schedule, I guess, from last week, right, Kingsley? We're right about the same spot as last week. So I wanted to thank Flobberworm, Wormwood. Thanks, Wormwood, for coming on the show tonight, man. Do you want to let people know how they can find you out there on the interwebs?
Pretty much every Discord, or you can find me on Twitch, just Wormwood.
Good deal. Oh, well, hey, man, we got to jump in some more Crucible. I saw you pop in last night, man, and talk to some of us who were playing Iron Banner. But yeah, we got to get some Crucible in, man. Your 20-year-old self probably runs circles around me in Crucible, but it'd be fun.
Probably.
Mr. RNG Gator, how can people find you, sir?
You can find me in the Discord, or you can find me on Twitter/X as RNG Gator.
And Mr. Kingsley Mac.
And you can find me as Kingsley Mac all the places in the Discord and occasionally on Blue Sky or Twitter.
Excellent. Well, like I said, for those of you on the YouTube channel, if you would hit the like button for me, that tells YouTube that you enjoyed the show and they'll recommend it to other people. I appreciate that. And of course, hit the subscribe button. It's free. What do you get to lose? And just keep in mind, we do have a replay of tonight's show probably in the next 48 hours. If you want to watch this show back, or maybe, walked in late on the show and stuff, it'll be for replay in about 48 hours. So just look for that. And it's Todd the Gator everywhere. TODDTHEGATR, all across the interwebs out there. So thank you again to everyone who stopped by tonight. Thank you, Discord. Thank you, YouTube, for hanging in there with us tonight. And thank you, Flobberworm, for hanging out with us tonight. And we will see you guys in the Discord. Later, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Let's see, what button do I press?